Discussions with DT Parker. Welcome. Did you enjoy the weekend? How was it? 4th of July weekend. Did you celebrate? Did you care? I went to one cookout. Hey, got you opening your tea. Hey, be smooth. Welcome to Discussions with DT Parker. We do got a good one, but just getting y'all caught up. What up, Capitol Record Buildings? What up, friend Francisco Small? Hey, be small. What up, Dubba from Dakar? What up, Lady Smith Creative? Welcome to Discussions with DT Parker. Welcome back. Hopefully you enjoyed your 4th of July weekend if you celebrated it. I know some folks didn't. Some folks was like, this is 15 days into Juneteenth. But anyway, whatever you did, I hope you enjoyed it. All right, we're going to get straight into it. Slow motion for you, and no, you didn't celebrate? Okay. Hey, to each his own. I was on the radio this weekend, and I was like, do I say happy 4th of July? Because, yeah, you know. And then I saw, and what was it? Was it D.C.? That the KKK was out there. And did you see that powerful picture with the young lady on the train? I don't know if that was an AI generated picture, but very powerful nonetheless. She was surrounded by a bunch of KKK. They were all on the train. That happened in DC. If that's not AI generated, I'm not sure if that is real. Anyway, all right. So again, welcome to Discussions with DT Parker. I want to talk about this because we tend to talk about this a lot on this show. And new folks who you haven't experienced Discussions with DT Parker, welcome. And Twitch is active. I am an active member on Twitch. Twitch is active. IG Live is active. And then this goes up on YouTube. I apologize about the video for last week. I'm in the process of trying to get it downloaded, but it's going to go up nonetheless. I posted to YouTube, so thank you for the folks that do run it back on YouTube. We're at 196, 197, so we're almost at 200. We're pushing. So like I said, we just started this a year ago in March. So March made my 1-year anniversary for YouTube. So I'm patting myself on the back. I feel like that's an accomplishment. Listen, some people don't even have 10 subscribers. So the fact that I have 197 is much appreciated. And thank you so much, YouTube. And if you haven't already done so, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, share, all the above. But hit that, subscribe button below. All right, so this woman, she breaks down how the absentee father stereotype was created by the government in the 1950s. And again, like I said, I wanted to talk about this because this is something I feel like is brought up a lot on Discussions with DT Parker when it comes to, I don't want to say who's to blame because, again, the show is not about who's to blame, women or men. It's about holding us equally accountable for our actions. But we do get into topics about baby mamas, about deadbeat dads. So I guess my question today is, who really created this narrative of when it comes to the black absentee father? Who created this narrative? And then I want you to hear this lady. They say she a sister, but she don't look melanated, so I ain't even gonna hold you. Take a listen though. The absent black father was actually created by the government in the 50s. In the 50s and 60s, there's this thing called the man in the house rule. Basically, the welfare agencies of the government would go house to house to check if there was a man that lived in that house in order to give them welfare. Any man in that house meant that they couldn't get welfare. So throughout time, obviously, it made black families have to choose between feeding their children and having 2 parents at home, or simply just a man in the home. So as you could imagine, best case scenario, this was a lifelong problem for those families. Worst case scenario, it was generational broken families based off of this one policy that was then actually thrown out by the Supreme Court in 1968. Imagine just how impactful it was that 4 generations later, still consequences. So if anything, just recognize how important it is to vote for policies that... All right, so new folks, welcome to Discussions with DT Parker. What up, got you open ENT? The question today is, who created this narrative when it comes to absentee black fathers? Who was the one that created this narrative that
I wouldn't say
here now in 2026?
I wouldn't say created, but it definitely was a program through the government that to take the fathers out the house and it was, hey, mom, you don't need that, man. I give you everything you need. You know what I mean? I don't care if you can read or write, as long as you can sign your name on this piece of paper and you can read this. No matter, I give you X and X amount of money for every child you have, but that man can be in your house because if I come do a house check, because at one point welfare did come and do checks on people's houses.
I didn't know that until
Yeah,
she
yeah,
said
they used to
that.
come to the house,
Wow.
and the man couldn't be in the house, and there couldn't be no sign of a man in the house. Even if your son was a certain age, like your son couldn't be there after a certain age because he was considered a man.
Oh, wow.
So after a certain age, that young man had to leave that house too. So what's that? What was that movie? Claudia? That was a perfect example. When James Earl Jones, he was the garbage man. He met
Yeah.
Shorty with the 4 kids. He was willing to be take on lady with the kids. She was going through the welfare. Face to face came. He was hiding in the closet.
No, I never seen Claudia. I
You
have
know,
to.
oh yeah, you gotta watch that. And that was in the 70s.
Wow. But so was it? I mean, she said it was created by the government. So you are in agreement to what she is
Yeah, I
saying.
definitely agree with that. You know what I mean? Because I mean, you got to think about it. What's the best way to break up the family, the nucleus of a family is to take that man out the house, take the head out the house.
But I
You know what
know
I mean?
on here we get to blaming the baby mama syndrome. So I
I
mean,
mean, I feel like throughout time, there's been
I
like
just blame it because I don't blame nobody. No judgments over here. It's not me, but go ahead.
I think throughout time, moms have gotten like, yo, I don't want to be a part, or I don't want this, or whatever, however it unfolds. You know what I'm saying? Initially, it was that, yo, let's take this man out the house. And then once the man was taken out the house, then it was, all right, we're going to give these women, these sisters, a job where you don't necessarily need your degree,
Yeah,
or it make it easier for you to get your degree. And you can get this job where you can get paid more. But then this man is not making as much money as you over there. And then now, when he comes into the household, women is like, yo, what I need you for? I made more money than you. I bought this house without you. I did this and this, that, and the third without you. What I need you?
yeah,
So that created more of a separation. And I feel, at least to me, I felt like that created more of a separation in that household, in that family household. And now all these brothers started going to jail for stupid stuff. Like you
yeah,
getting football numbers for a bag of weed.
yeah,
Like that's ridiculous, yo. You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, I I like the points that because for a very long time I've been saying like I know we like to put the blame, but I feel like this has been an issue. It stems back from the 1950s when we were trying to go out for the welfare and we had all these stipulations. It was like we were almost forced to make a decision between, like she said, feeding our families or our man. So, and I don't know why women get, I'll say black women because I'm a black woman. I don't know why we, when the system was already in place to divide us to begin with.
Yeah, I got another one for you. Did you know that projects was designed for white people?
No.
Yes, it was designed initially for white people, and it was designed for them, for those people that were like military or whatever the case may be, or lower income families that needed help. Same thing with welfare. Lower
Yeah.
income families who needed help. So those are the only ones who was getting it at one point, even down to the welfare. But then I can't remember the actual case that it was that it opened up to now. Our people was able to get it and move to the projects. And then once our people started moving into the projects, those white people started moving, been able to get loans for houses now, and then they started
Ah.
moving out to the suburbs. But initially, the projects were made for the white people.
But do you realize that there is a new report that recently dropped, and we're not even the number one people that are accepting aid?
No, we're not. We're not. We're not. We haven't been the number one people accepting age since I want to say 83, 84.
I feel like have we ever been the number one people? Because they the and There
I
is a
mean,
lot of
I would say from the 70s to the 80s, maybe from the 60s to the 80s, possibly. I would say because there wasn't that many immigrants coming into here, and then our pale brothers and sisters was able to sustain a lot more. Now you got these pale brothers and sisters that they want to be down with the culture. They want to be down with this, and them pale sisters want to start talking like y'all and acting like y'all and have like 12 different baby daddies too,
yeah.
thinking that that's the flex.
So I'm looking. It says YT welfare recipients roughly between 35% to 45%. Compared to Black Americans, it's 23 to 26%.
And that's across the country.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. You think about it. But even down to the fact where they had us fooled that we were the minority for so many years, and we've been the majority.
But it's crazy how this is pushed on to us like we're the ones.
Of course, because I mean, how they say what's the best trick the devil ever gave or ever told, or the best lie the devil ever told is the one
Right.
that he never existed. So
Right.
what's the best way to keep people down is to always feel like to keep them to have them think they never was up to begin with.
Right.
You
That's
know what I'm
crazy.
saying? So you constantly say, "Oh, you're the minority, you minorities, oh minority, minority." Even if you filling out paperwork, at one point it didn't say black, white, it said minority.
Oh, we don't even say that no more. It
It don't
actually,
say that no more, but
yeah,
at
it
one
says you
point it did.
Hispanic
So
now. Yeah.
mentally we've been accustomed to saying, "Oh, we're the minority," but we've always been the majority of people,
Yeah.
always been across the globe. And like I
Yeah.
was just telling a sister today, I was like, it's crazy that no matter where you go in this world, people of melanated tone have issues across the globe.
Ain't it crazy though?
No matter where you go on this earth, if you are melanated, there is some type of racial divide or some aspect of it, right?
I was just telling
However,
I was
I
just telling my
honestly
mom yes.
feel you telling your mom that too,
No,
but
no,
I
I was
honestly
telling.
feel
Go ahead, finish. I'll tell
no,
you
I'm
what.
gonna say
Yeah.
I honestly feel that the only way that would stop is when the whole continent of Africa comes together.
I'm gonna be real with you. Got you open easy after seeing this whole Young Miami Carisha thing with this whole spin that and the ignorance of our people. I don't even know if there's any saving us. I'm gonna be 100%. I'm gonna be real. I was just telling my mama yesterday, like, it's hey Harlem Nights. Some days it's hard to be black. I swear. We're so divided on so many issues. It's ridiculous, and we just cannot come. What up, Tech? We cannot agree to get along. We can't get along to get along for nothing. And some days it's insufferable. Like I ain't even gonna hold you to be black. Like this weekend and the last couple of days, like hearing the ignorance online, people defending that ignorant ass song, and then trying to bash Miss India Irie, who is the pillar of. She made a damn song about your hair. Come on, how you gonna bash her? But anyway, chat, that is not what we're talking about today. Yeah, we talked about that last week, and I gave my opinion. I have nothing else to say about it. Y'all can stay ignorant if that's what you want, stay ignorant. Anyway, High Healing Hurtman's Ministry. We're talking about today something that we chat about. I feel like quite often because we talk a lot about the baby mama syndrome, and then we talk about single parenting, deadbeat dads. But this woman, she's breaking down the absentee black father stereotype and why it was created, and we know how it was created. At least I know how it was created. But if you don't know how it was created, she's gonna break it down. Here you go. And then we're gonna play this Got You Open ENT.
Of the absent black father was actually created by the government in the 50s. In the 50s and 60s, there's this thing called the man in the house rule. Basically, the welfare agencies of the government would go house to house to check if there was a man that lived in that house in order to give them welfare. Any man in that house meant that they couldn't get welfare. So throughout time, obviously, it made black families have to choose between feeding their children and having two parents at home, or simply just a man in the home. So, as you could imagine, best case scenario, this was a lifelong problem for those families. Worst case scenario, it was generational broken families. It's based off of this one policy that was then actually thrown out by the Supreme Court in 1968. Imagine just how impactful it was.
That's, I mean, we like to point the finger and blame one another on why the single family parent household was created in the Black community, when realistically there was an agenda. There's always an
Yeah, there's
agenda.
always an agenda. You know what I mean? Like, what's the best way to hurt a man? Take his family away from him.
Hmm.
What's the best way to make a man depressed? Take his family away from him. What's the
Right.
best way to break a man? Take his family away from him.
Right.
You take that man's family away and keep him away, and that man, I honestly feels he has nothing left. Because
Yeah.
men, at least out of most men, at least me, my family is my world.
Yeah.
Do everything for them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, even now, my kids is grown. My youngest is 19. My baby girl about to be 21 in a couple of weeks. I still feel like when I go out to, like today, I went to the store and I called my son like, "Yo, you want something from the store? You
Yeah.
got your own job and your own money." But I'm still a parent at the end of the day, and this is still my seed, and you still here with me. Yo, what you need? My daughter's birthday. What you doing for your birthday? What you want?
Hmm.
What you want to do? How can I help you? You dig what I'm
Yeah.
saying? 'Cause that's me. That's my family. If I didn't have them, I tell anybody. My oldest daughter saved me. I
Yeah.
turned 21. 3 weeks later, she was born. I was wilding at 21,
But
22.
I think today why I brought this up is because I just want us to realize it's not one side. This has been an agenda from day one,
Didi,
from the
you could tell
welfare.
people that you could tell people that a million times, and they still ain't gonna hear that part. Especially our people.
You ain't lying.
You
You
dig what
ain't
I'm
lying.
saying? It's been hot as monkey doodle out here the last couple of days. And you could take that horse to that water. That horse ain't gonna drink that water no matter how hot he is. So you can tell these people this so many times, and like, yo, you gotta you gotta unlearn everything that you learned to relearn. And you think people's gonna really do that?
Yeah. Text said black people have no compassion.
Nah. I think we have compassion. I think
I
what it
think we
is that
I think we too damn compassionate when it comes
no,
to,
we have compassion, but I think what it is that
we don't have no compassion amongst one another.
that part, and we don't want to read.
Yeah.
That's the other part.
Because they want to be scamming ass niggas. I'm just saying. That's what they
Ah,
want to be.
I like the little pun you threw in there.
They
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to
yeah.
be scamming ass niggas. Of course they don't want to read.
They don't
Who,
want to
what
read.
scamming
They don't
ass
want.
nigga you know reading?
Come on, man. But you got to think about it. You got to unlearn everything that you was taught, even down to your parents.
Yeah, but
Not saying that your parents taught you wrong, but they taught you what they knew at that time from what they know. You
but
understand what I'm saying?
the government definitely played a hand.
Of course.
But we
I
have
mean,
to now we now have to get past this part. Okay? Because we know what was done. Well, we know what was done. Go
but
ahead.
you just said the value. You just said the most important part right there. We have to get past this part because we know what was done. We know because we stay educated. We stay trying to build. We stay trying to learn. We want to excel. We want to be our better version of ourselves. Those
Yeah.
that don't want to be the better version of themselves and comfortable where they at and still live that survival lifestyle, they're going to stay like that.
That I think
You
everybody
understand what I'm saying?
has
And
to
then
know.
that's where that divide comes into play. We always talk about why we always divided. That's where that divide comes into play. That's why you had those people that say, "Yo, Young Miami's the number one artist." Da 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 da. NDRE's bugging for what she's saying. This, that, and the third. That's why you had that divide.
No, we're divided when it comes to everything. We're divided about spin that. We're divided about Megan and Clay. The list goes on. Every time there is a great divide, like we don't come together when it comes to nothing. But like I said, Did you hear me?
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, I said there was a great divide when it came to Megan and Clay. I mean, I could keep going on and on and on. Where
It's
the divide
always
comes
going.
from.
It's always going to be a great divide when it comes to our people because one, we're the majority who don't know ourselves.
Yeah,
You
but
understand what I'm saying? So when you have those that do have an understanding of who they are, and we try to educate the other 85%, then they looking at us like, yo, what you talking about? I don't want to
no,
hear
because
about
the other
that.
85% want to call you bitter and old. What do you
Right.
know? You're
We
bitter and old. What do
we
you
don't
know?
want to hear that. We don't
Hey,
want to know about that. You know what I'm saying? That's why, again, 5%ers. Ain't but 5% of us are awakened to the consciousness. Still
but
got 85 that are blind, deaf, and dumb.
but again, got you open easy. I bring this conversation up because again, I feel like fingers are always pointed in both directions, but the root cause we don't ever want to pin the root cause and what it is. And what it is was what I have been saying on here, the government, it was the one that initially created this separation between black men and black women. Oh, okay, when with welfare. They made us choose between, okay, we got a family, we got kids to feed, or this man in the house. And in fact, I didn't even know that they was knocking and going door to door to make sure that they were, but it don't surprise me. New folks, we're talking about where did this narrative come from when it comes to the absentee black father. This woman breaks it
Basically,
down.
the welfare agencies of the government would go house to house to check if there was a man that lived in that house in order to give them welfare. Any man in that house meant that they couldn't get welfare. So throughout time, obviously, it made black families have to choose between feeding their children and having two parents at home, or simply just a man in the home. So as you could imagine, best case scenario, this was a lifelong problem for those families. Worst case scenario, it was generational broken families based off of this one policy that was then actually thrown out by the Supreme Court in 1968. Imagine just how impactful it was that 4 generations later, you're still consequences being seen from it. So if anything, just recognize how important it is to vote for policies.
She said 4 generations later, this has had an effect on us. 4 generations later. That's crazy.
So you think about it. This has always been a plan and a mission to divide the family household, to take the man out. Like if you take the man out, then what man you got showing other men, young men to be men? That's why you got so many bots. People are probably running around the street now. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Man, I take none of how what you do or anything like that. But again, that's what it is. You dig what I'm saying? And what if I even to tell you that at one point going to college was free?
Yeah.
Yale, all of that was free until at one point the Supreme Court was like, nah, you can't do that. You can't separate. If they could go to school, if y'all could go to school, they could go to school. Okay, well, you know what? Well, we're going to charge X and X amount of money because now y'all can't afford to go to school.
Mm. Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So now y'all can't afford to go to school. So if you can't afford to go to school, then you can't better yourselves. And then when brothers started going to school and getting scholarships, oh well, then all these other crazy stipulations started to come. Then when
Yeah.
it's like, oh well, we only got to have a certain amount of quota. Then that's when you start to see more women going to Yale, going to Harvard, or whatever the case may be.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? Because now it didn't say I needed to have a male. It just said I needed to have 3 black people coming either to the school or come to work. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
get the woman this job where she can make money. I'm gonna educate her. You know what I mean? She's getting welfare. I'm gonna help her get off of welfare now, but I'm gonna educate her. I'm gonna give her this money. But then now she's gonna be able to take care of her own household without this man. And now she's gonna feel like she really don't need this man in the house because she make more money than this man. And all this man could do is be a trash man. Or all he could do is drive a truck. I'm not saying that you ain't making no money doing that now, but at one point that was like the low end of the jobs.
Yeah. But again, because I keep bringing it back. I because the person on here that I'm really talking to is not on here. But yeah, because we
Evan,
have
where you at, brother?
Right. We have this conversation about because I feel like a lot of the finger pointing it does get put on women because he feels like we make the babies. But again, this woman is pointing out that this policy is the only reason for every family situation today, which I think she has a very
I,
valid.
I mean, she definitely has a valid point. I wouldn't say it's the main situation, but it's definitely part. It's a major part of the issue. And then there
Mm,
were so many other programs that followed suit, so even down to the curriculum that we had at one point.
the
Rockefeller changed the whole entire curriculum
what of school?
of school.
They're trying to do that now. They're
I
trying to
mean,
erase Black
but
history.
initially Rockefeller did that though. He changed the whole entire when blacks started to be being really integrated into schools. The whole curriculum and what was taught in schools was changed. You understand what I'm saying? So now, how do you do that? You start. We don't have the resources to fund schools. You understand what I'm saying? We don't have the resources to build hospitals and where we can have our young brothers and sisters like back in the day the HBCUs like St. Aug, for example, where I went to school at. You know what I mean? St. Aug was the first hospital and the only hospital for black people to go to in North Carolina.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And then that was where all the sisters went that wanted to go into nursing, went to St. Aug for schooling. And then when it opened up to university, then that's when all the men and so forth started coming. But it was the only hospital at one point in North Carolina, the whole entire state of North Carolina, that black people could go to.
You better know your history got you opening ENT in school. I know.
So we don't have that no more.
No, because they're trying to take it out of the schools.
But okay,
Their
but
next
we got artists like all
candidate
right,
in office right now doesn't
but
want
see,
Black history
regardless of what
taught.
they trying to take out of the school, we as people no longer have those type of resources to say, yo, we're going to do X and X amount of money to fund these schools. There's no reason why St. Aug should be shut down right now.
Yeah.
And you got so many alumni that are powerful and got money, but yet the staff from the school want to steal from the school.
It
That's
happened at Morris
like
Brown. It happened at Morris Brown
it
College.
happened at Morris Brown, a couple
Yeah.
years ago when they lost their accreditation. They
Yep.
almost got shut down. So why are y'all stealing from your own places? That's the problem that we're having. We're not
Agreed.
staying collected and connected with each other. You got how many rappers from you got 1 billion rappers from Atlanta. Now near one of them came to Morris Brown and said, yo, we gonna give X. Now, is that their duty? No, it's not. However, though, if you want if you want to see change, you gotta be part of that change, especially if you're in that position where you can do so. So those who can strive to that can continue on with that. You understand
Which
what I'm saying?
Which is why, going back to what we're talking about today, I wanted to have this conversation because I feel like, hey, Healing Hurt Men's Ministry, thank you for joining. I feel like oftentimes the blame is placed on both the man and the woman, and this narrative was never created by us. It was created from a higher power that never wanted us to see us together to begin with.
But
So,
again, that goes back to what I told you. Even though it's right there in black and white, most of us are still not getting that part to
right,
change that narrative, though.
we're still going to blame one another. It's still going to be,
Exactly.
oh, they're deadbeats, or oh, they baby mamas. Text said they're removing it because they are tired of us rubbing it in their faces. Healing Hurt Men's Ministry, what do you got to say about this topic today?
Well, I'm just going to piggyback on the history. I know about our history, and that's the reason why I started what I did with
Mm-hmm.
opening the school and everything. Basically, taking it back to ground zero. When I told y'all anthropology, I kept saying that word. Do you know what that is, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what they did was they took our people out of our habitat and moved them to a new habitat and said, let them do it this way and see how much control we can influence. So instead of us being grouped as unity with all of the things that we do great, they individualized us and made us compete against each other. So they made celebrities better than
Yeah.
carpenters. They made politicians bigger than plumbers. So when you get a position and you think you bigger than the program,
Yep.
that's when you start seeing people in power. If y'all want to do this the right way, we can dissect everybody individually and see why they did what they did.
Mm-hmm.
Bad Boy Entertainment, Puffy, he's the prime example of when you give a young man power and money who's been abused, he's going to flip it and
Yep.
become the villain. But his story started off with him being a victim because every man was once a boy. So what you influence a boy will be the outcome of what he is in the environment in which you put him. You can't get mad at a robber when all he seen was robbers. You
Yeah.
can't get mad at a killer when all he seen was killer because these are their norms. So until you tell me, oh, I'm wrong for doing it, I won't know better.
Yeah.
And it's biblical in that sense because Jonah's whole gripe was he was angry at the city, but God told him those people don't even know their left from their right. So instead of Jonah educating his city, he hated the city he lived.
Mm.
So this is what our people do. We hate our environment in which we see, but we never go and say, hey, y'all need help with anything? Because if you know that this home next to you is a single parent household where it's just a woman and child, as a man, did y'all eat today? Well, here's some groceries. See, it doesn't matter if you fathered the child
Yeah.
because the thing is the child needs to be taken care of. When we learn to stop being selfish and allow our emotions to stop dictating how we look at the world, we could be such a good people. But what our people do is we feel bad for everybody that get treated the way we get treated, but we never stop mistreating our people the way they see what I'm saying. We can't be the problem and the solution.
Oh.
We are the problem, so let's be the solution and just fix our problem. It's us, ourselves. Till the cows come home, we can say all men ain't shit. But I ain't met every man.
Right.
Just like a man can't say all women ain't shit because he ain't met every woman. The women you gravitate to is because some woman that raised you is in that toxicity of that woman and you
Ooh.
gravitating to it because there's a wound in you that ain't been healed.
Hell,
The same with the
and you're
woman.
pulling it, and you're pulling in that energy. And each time you go and meet somebody else, you're finding that person with that same energy that you already got within you. And as they say, the things within yourself that you don't like and you can't see, you don't like in other people. But
Yep.
that's what you attract.
Projection is our biggest problem right now because fear is the number one culprit of why a lot of people won't move in their purpose. They're afraid of everything that somebody put into their brain when they was growing up and they believed it. My
Yeah.
thoughts are mine, which means that's what I thought. So if I
Yeah.
let Dee Dee Parker tell me what to do or this young man, I felt myself. And that's what we've allowed. So you saying boycott this song is exactly true because we can't get mad at the men and say boycott their murder music if we're promoting still another crime because we don't know really who raised who. But if we are the influence in the music and our music is going everywhere, we do have to be accountable for that. Because if not, you saying you don't care. And if you're doing it just for money, you don't need to be in this business because this is music should not even be included in business. That's the truth.
I
Music was
mean,
never supposed to be for monetary gain. It was never.
Mm.
So that's where the labels came in and saw poor people that needed money.
Yep.
And so it became the what would you do for a Klondike bar? And
whatever.
that's
Exactly.
really so you have to come in here knowing you're not hungry for money that much that you sell your soul. You have to have
Right.
integrity in this business because if not, you're going to go for anything goes. And that's basically what you have in a nutshell. That young lady doesn't have any shame in her game. So she's going to do what she's going to do to make her coins. India Arie is an artist. So she's saying, if I'm singing songs to inspire y'all to love yourself, but y'all going to promote the songs that incriminate you, I'm done. Why you think I won't get in it that fast? Because it's like, man, come on now.
Girl, I have had enough of Carisha and Spin That. Girl, I am so exhausted with that damn conversation. I
But
see the interest online, people calling people names. I told Mama yesterday, I'm starting to feel like FA. Y'all some damn bullies. Y'all
They
some
are.
bullies.
Well,
Y'all
see,
are some bullies when people don't agree with y'all.
Well,
And it's
that's the
not
thing. They
you.
don't want you to have an opinion. Once you go outside of the opinion that they put in your presence, you are now trouble.
Yeah, y'all some
No,
bullies.
but
Anytime somebody don't agree
be,
with what y'all and how y'all
because
feel,
if
it's
you
a
mess
problem.
with their money, you messing. So you now see. So now we have now opened up something in reality of the truth. You have people who really don't care because all they care about is money, and then you have people that have principles and morals who are saying enough is enough
Now
because
you
what
have
they're doing is promoting
ignorant
this to our children.
yes, you have
Right.
ignorant ass black people, and
That's
I'm
it.
sorry for the terminology. Ignorant ass
It's
black
us
Done.
people.
because
Exactly.
we don't like being shamed for being wrong.
Say, can you say it? Please say it
We don't
again.
like we get offended when we do something wrong and someone's correct us. We get offended like I'm like that's on us. That's a us problem. We
Mm.
have to learn that shame was something that was put on us to make us feel bad. But a mistake is something that we need to learn from so we don't do it again. But the
But you
minute
know
you
what?
feel ashamed, you're gonna run from the truth and correcting the problem.
Right, but
Mm.
see, I mean, you're 100% correct. But at some point in your life, you have to grow from that because that's the only way you're going to be able to be corrected. You understand what I'm saying? Where if Didi be like, "Yo, spec this, that, and the third, man, I can't get offended by what she said because that's her opinion.
Yeah.
Now, if I get offended by it, now I have to look at myself because now I'm like, damn, what was it that you said from your own opinion that I felt some way that I felt disrespected? So what was it about me with what you said that I got to look at myself now, opposed to me just saying, you know what? Well, why did you say that? Well, what
But
suggestions that you may have that may be able to correct that or make me better?
if I
You
offer
understand what I'm saying?
if I offer a correction and you give me an excuse, you not ready. You not ready
Of
for no.
course not. Of course
Not
not.
ready.
Of course
And a
not.
lot of people that are getting online and defending this ain't ready. So you know what?
I mean, because you still got to heal. I mean, you and I, we both worked in the industry for quite some time. So we've definitely seen
You too.
the
Yeah.
change of music throughout the years
Since
Mm.
12. I'm
and
45.
radio. Oh, and you too, yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? So we've all seen the change of music from just on a street level to a radio level to where it's at now. You understand what I'm saying? Like, all you're getting, I mean, you're on the radio more now, you getting the same 8 songs all day long.
So it's
And don't let it
embedded
and
in
don't
your
let it be a
head.
top 100 station. Oh, it's a wrap.
Oh
You
yeah.
getting three.
Well, Kiss is a little bit better. At least when I'm on, I don't hear the same song
Right,
twice.
that's what I'm saying. If
Uh,
you in the top
Y'all
100,
play be
you
on point.
playing you playing the whole you playing three
see,
songs
now
back to
there
back
is a
every day.
radio station because me and boyfriend done took up dashing to make some extra money. So there is a radio
I do
station.
Uber. That's a gig,
Yeah,
girl, because it's money every day and you don't got to deal with people. I can't
exactly.
Yeah.
commit to a 9 to 5 because I really do this singing for a living. And
You're right.
so I don't
You
want
need
to
to have a
put that on
flexible
somebody.
schedule.
You got to be
Yeah.
responsible
Mhm.
in every decision you make. So I understand,
So we
trust and
to a
believe.
particular station when we're in the car, but when I tell you Cardi B, spend that every hour on the hour, I'm like, damn, how many times they gonna play this song? And I'm gonna be honest, and then I'm gonna leave that spin that shit right where it's at. The reason why y'all like this song is because it's all about manipulation. That's all they're doing.
Programming.
The more you hear the song, of course, the more you're gonna like it. Because
Programming.
remember
But
when,
Michael Jackson put that in our ear. He said it's a mantra you say over and over again, you start to believe it.
yep,
So, us as musicians, artists, we have to understand whatever we say over and over again for these people to say back to us, we got to make sure it's important that it's going to impact their life.
yeah,
I don't want nothing self gratifying like you saying my name all day where you praising me. No. So I don't want those kind of rants. And I don't want a anthem where I'm teaching children how to do something immoral or wrong. That's wrong because as a parent, I wouldn't want my kids being like that. So why would I encourage somebody else's child to do it?
I don't have a, and I want to make this clear. The song is catchy. You do whatever you want with it. It's just not an appropriate song for the youth, yeah, especially
It's not.
Absolutely.
You know what?
you have the
You're
baby.
having you shouldn't have to defend why you're saying you're taking a stand.
Yeah,
If
I think certain songs, right? Like let's take
and then
you
we
don't
need
know
to get
near.
back to the topic.
Yeah, yeah. Like you let's say you don't know near about Trick Daddy, right? That
And I
wasn't
love
a record. That wasn't a record that you heard on the radio constantly. The edited version or the unedited version. So it only played at a certain hour when mostly adults was listening. And I'm not
Mhm.
saying her song is that bad, but when you got babies out here singing that, and a 5-year old could tell me exactly what the hell a scammer is and what a scammer is going to do, that's the issue. But you can't tell me what the X factor is of X.
exactly,
So
and the
I have
fact
a
that
problem with that.
that little young boy just lost his life for allegedly stealing out of the Asian store. Like, what are we talking about?
Like, what are
Like,
you talking
what
about?
are we even
Like,
talking?
come on, man.
All right,
Like,
I want to get back to the topic because I do uh, want Healing Hurt to answer the question about the narrative about Black fathers, absentee fathers, in the government creating this narrative. You know, what is your thoughts on it? And new folks, welcome to Discussions with Dee Dee Parker. The question is today, where did the actual narrative come from, or the stereotype come from when it comes to Black fathers being absent from their children's lives? This young lady, she broke it down and basically said that it came from the government in the 1950s.
it was a way for them to be needed in something. So if the husband or the father is the provider of the household, and I heard what you said, sir, earlier, that even though your children are adults,
But
you still check on them, make sure they good, because that's a every. Do y'all eat every day?
I eat every
So you
day.
I
want your
hear it
kids
every
to
day.
eat every day. So
Yeah,
what the government said is I could be your daddy, I could be your big papa, but under these conditions, take out the man, because that man, if a man is in a home, there is no need for a government assistance. There
yeah,
isn't. So now they're useless. So we need to be useful so we can do what we can do in this. So we have to convince the woman, and they did it when the man was out in the workforce. If y'all noticed that, they came to the door homes of the women, and women, if they're emotional, say if you and your man not getting along that week, and I
yeah,
come and say I could give you X amount of money, in that emotional right there, wherever, you're gonna take that bait. So you have to be strong in the mind and say, no, thank you. My man is good enough for me and my family. But unfortunately, there were a lot of weak-minded people like there are today. When there are weak-minded people, they'll go for anything you say. You have to be strong enough in yourself to know what you have is all right. Because would you trust anybody to just knock on your door and say, what I have to offer is better than what you have in here?
hell to the no. I don't even answer my front door with people now.
So that's what was going on back then. You got to really be
So,
honest with that theory. And then too, was it just our people that was running for that thing? I think it was all women. It wasn't no
no,
specific.
because uh, according to research, they're the number one people that actually get it. YTs. It says 35 to 43% of them compared to 23 to 26% of Black Americans get it.
Well, again, because we've always been denied access to everything. An
Right.
immigrant can come here to the America and get everything that me and you couldn't go as citizens, because it's just the way their program is set. Their funding is set for those people specific.
Yeah.
So we as working class citizens, we have to work every day or we don't eat.
Yeah.
I don't depend on government assistance. I never had, because even when people would tell me, girl, you should apply, they'd say I made too much. And
Oh.
that was just me by my little self. So now I got a husband and we got two income household. We really don't qualify. So when you and your spouse can take care of the household and the children that live in a household, there's no, I never needed the government assistance to assist me in anything. And when we know where they originally came from, we'll know we funded it, the people.
So let me
So,
ask you, Healing Heart Men's Ministry, you think the women should have turned down the assistance
well, you
instead?
got to be honest with yourself. that assistance was basically like crumbs.
Yeah.
So they were saying, we'll give you crumbs for you to kick this man out because now there's double income. So they didn't think of it as that way. They thought of it as a man is now going to provide um residence and another, that's double now of building. So they did it to get double the money from out of us. You
Hmm.
understand that part. It was a trick to divide so
Oh,
that they can
absolutely.
benefit from it.
Mama said, let's be honest. A lot of the men were never in the household.
In whose household? Because I know a lot of men that were in households. So my
um,
dad was always in the household, and the neighbors around us, there were men in my households, in the households of the neighbors. Everywhere I lived, there were men in the house. So
and
that's
that's
why I said, where did that narrative come from?
right, and that's where we're trying to figure this narrative out. This woman is saying that it came from the government. Uh,
From the weak-minded women that took the bait.
yeah, I
You
read.
okay? You have to be an active participant.
Well, okay, because I think my question today, Healing Hurt Men's Ministry, is more so who created this narrative, because there is a lot of times, sometimes we're on here and it's finger pointing of, oh, well, it was the black woman because they need to keep their legs closed and stop making these babies. And oh, it's the black men because they need to stop walking away from their kids. But this narrative has been in place, like she was saying, since the 1950s when they tried to divide and conquer us with the welfare, making the woman choose between the man and the woman. They didn't make any other race of people do that. They just made the black woman do that. Um, Essentially, and the black woman chose the welfare. Now it's been 4 generations, and this is still a thing when it comes to absentee fathers in the children's lives.
Because now you got the product of an environment in which these black women wanted to create because they took the money instead of the man.
So that's what I guess I'm asking you. So you feel like those women should have sacrificed and stayed with the man as opposed to choosing the
That's
assistant.
not sacrificing, Didi, because this is the thing.
Okay, that
Can
makes
no
sense.
amount of money raise a man, a boy? A man can only raise a boy to be a
Okay.
man, right? So if I replace the man out the house and get money to raise a boy, where did daddy go?
He left.
So y'all chose money over your man to raise your man to be men, and the outcome is these emotional unstable boys y'all keep talking about were raised by emotional unstable women who kicked the man out for the money that the government was giving them. This
Mm.
is a true statement. The thing is, you have to apply for government assistance, yes or no?
Yes.
And you have to add a name of a man on there, yes or no?
If there is a man in the house, yes.
No, you have to name. They ask you who the pappy.
Oh,
And
okay.
if you refuse to say who's the pappy, they deny you the money. But if you put who the pappy is, they go for child support.
Oh.
Yeah, and half of that money, the mama nor the daddy say, girl. So see, it's a catch 22. No one wins, especially the kids. Because what you did now, you raised the son to see my daddy never cared, he was never there. My mom is always emotionally unstable because I see they have to live with this woman that daddy is now avoided because you chose money over me. We as women, when we understand what we did, the men apply or did the women apply?
Okay. Okay. That's why I always have you on here, Healing Hurts Men's
Because
Ministry.
I'm never going to be biased on men or
Right.
women. I tell it like it is.
You're going to always give your perspective. Mama said we grew up with most of the men were absent. A lot of men were drunks or addicted. I don't believe any woman who has a good man is going to replace him. All right, Efe, welcome to the chat. We are
Absolutely. Especially not for no
we're
money.
chatting because we have a lot of discussions about baby mama culture,
Hi,
um,
Hefe.
absentee father hood. Where did the narrative come from when it comes to the black fathers being absent in their children's lives? Where did that narrative come from? This lady breaks it down. She's saying it came from the government. But Healing Hurt Men's Ministry said we didn't have a choice.
Father was actually created by the government in the 50s. In the 50s and 60s, there's this thing called the man in the house rule. Basically, the welfare agencies of the government would go house to house to check if there was a man that lived in that house in order to give them welfare. Any man in that house meant that they couldn't get welfare. So throughout time, obviously, it made Black families have to choose between feeding their children and having two parents at home, or simply just a man in the home. So, as you could imagine, best case scenario, this was a lifelong problem for those families. Worst case scenario, it was generational broken families. Based off of this one policy that was then actually thrown out by the Supreme Court in 1968. Imagine just how impactful it was that 4 generations later, there's still consequences.
So she's saying after this policy was created, we're now here 4 generations later of this narrative of absentee fathers in the Black community. All right, what are your thoughts, FA, on what you just heard?
Yeah, I think a lot. I think that was a big part of how it started with
Okay.
us. I think it was had racial implications. Obviously, this is during the time where blacks may have had difficulties getting jobs and so on and so forth, and living in these major big cities and stuff like that, and then drugs and alcohol and a lot of that stuff that the men may have gotten on or whatever the case may be. So I think it was a combination of all of that, and then the welfare thing with not being able to have a man in the house to receive it definitely played a part. I think what happened was though, a lot of those women were baby mothers, and meaning they were having children outside of marriage, and I think it bred a culture of it becoming normal. You know what I'm saying? Like now having a baby and not being married in our community is like normal. You know
You
what I'm
mean
saying?
after the welfare thing went into place?
After the welfare thing.
Yeah.
So it started to breed this culture of it being normal.
Okay.
And I think a lot of women, I remember when my baby mother said it to me, it was so funny, it just stood out. I was trying to resemble a family as much as I could, trying to fucking pretend that we are family, but we really weren't. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, but at the time, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, well, this I'm at least willing to try. And I remember she said, "We don't need to do all that." My mother raised me, and I turned out just fine. I was looking at, I was like, "That's what's crazy because you didn't." You know what I'm saying? But I'm not saying that I'm any better. What I was saying was, you don't realize it. You don't realize that you not having a father in your life caused some areas, issues in you. And that just continue. Then the next generation. And that's why I get so upset or I get frustrated with older women that also condone this type of behavior because you would think that they would know better. Like, no, but it seems, they just breeding it. And then our generation is repeating it. They having kids without, you know what I mean?
Well, I
So,
mean, she said it's 4 generations. That's a
yeah,
long
man.
time to be, from the consequences are there from what they did.
The
I
consequences are there. Are
I feel
there.
like, I mean, the agenda was in place to divide and conquer the Black family, and they did it. And
Yeah,
here
for
we are,
sure.
and we're still
Well,
separated because we're still pointing fingers at one another, saying, "Oh well, he's not in the child's life," or
you know why? You know why we it divided and conquered or whatever they won and our community is messed up? It's because there is no scenario where we could ever get back into a good space if you're not under me. You're gonna have to always be under me in this hierarchy. Meaning, the men have to be the leaders in this house. We're not equals. You got to kill this narrative that we equals. We're not equals. We're equal under God's eyes, but we're not equal in this relationship and in this dynamic. I remember I was going to just scream it out one day. I said, "All right, cool. We ain't got to blame nobody. Just come back and do what I tell you to do, and we'll be fine." And I'm being a little blunt and I'm being a little facetious, but what I'm saying is we will never get back to, because there is no society where the man is not the true leader. No, the other, and they thrive. Their communities know their place. Everybody has their role, and men, just like black men, we're no different from any other men. We have the natural, um, instinctive, um, desire to be who we are. And we're always going to try to be that. We'll never conform. You'll never see men conforming in large groups, conforming and following under women. And if you do, you're going to see a decimated society. Like the community is going to be messed up.
Oh, wow. Mama,
So it has to be that way.
Mama said, my mom had kids out of marriage, but for us to get married before babies.
She said her mother taught her to get married before she had a baby.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. At least she didn't want to repeat the mistake, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The reason again, after I wanted to chat about this today, because I don't know, this narrative when it comes to black fathers being absentee, I do think some get a bad rap, and we got to go to where it came from, and it came from when they tried to separate us, and the women did have to choose. Now, Healing Hurt Men's Ministry point, or I don't want to speak for you, Healing Hurt Men's Ministry, was that women did have a choice. They could have chose their man over the welfare.
100%. Do you know the people that came out with the welfare, that wasn't even their intentions initially?
What, to divide?
Meaning, yeah, they never thought it was going to work. Seen the documentary.
Oh,
It was said that they put this out there not thinking that black women would ever choose the government over their man. They were like shocked. You know what I mean? That they actually did it. Now, they once they realized it started working, they kept feeding it. But
yeah,
they didn't think that they would pick the men, the government over the men. They didn't even think so. You know what I mean? It just ended up having working out that way. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
You were gonna say something, Healing Hurt?
I just, because Hefe, we could talk all day about this because he's telling the truth, though. We as women, we're going to get it together because at the end of the day, do y'all be getting lonely? Women, I don't get lonely. That's why I don't understand a woman's mindset because I was always liking to be alone. So I'm like one of one. But I am married, so that's the blessing in it. But I look at marriage as like the only way I could see my husband being gone is being a widow. Not saying I want him dead, but I'm saying that's the only title I would want after wife.
Yeah,
And
Mm,
so I try to tell people all the
beautiful.
time, we try to keep up with everybody. Come here, baby. This is who I'm married to. This is my husband.
How you doing?
hi.
Hi.
What's up, brother? What's
How are
up?
That's
you?
Happy. That's Dee
Yes,
What's
Parker.
up,
How
brother?
you
What's
doing?
up?
This
me
dope
Um,
too.
bestie.
Yes,
hmm
to
But
finally meet you. Heard so much
we
about you.
do this
Every
because
time.
we're best friends first, and we do it for the children. Do we not do it for the kids?
Yeah.
That's all we do it for. So us opening schools and everything is for the children.
Nice.
His mother foster kids.
Hold on.
She did a gang of stuff, but she taught him this. So it made him want to do it. And I said, let's open a school. Let's take care of the kids because adults need to get their act together. But
Yes, we do.
in the meantime, children ain't got nothing to do with that. And the only thing that they should be getting done is taking care of and being treated like children.
Yeah.
That song, It's a Hard Knocks Life,
No, I thought it was
is
supposed to
a
be
real
31.
true statement. We get treated like crap. Like there was
Came
so
back
many
in the
kids. So it's a lot of
so I guess
entitled
they could
children
use
that ain't never been through the
why
hell
they
they've
go
been through.
on.
Our job is to take care of these kids
That's
because kids are scared. And what's gonna happen
49%.
is they're gonna grow up to be scared adults.
Nate? Yeah.
So right now what we
Yeah,
seeing is scary cats trying to be brave in it and it's not working because everybody fears is scaring them into a submission of selfishness.
Yeah.
If we knew the origin of who took the bait in the 50s, it's our job to untake the bait. Stop taking the bait of free handouts. Because what do you have to give in that handout? So what they did in the 50s in that handout They took a free handout and took 4 decades of what?
Took away from us. That's a fact.
Yeah.
From a
Well,
man
for-
Or
raising
generations.
men,
it broke
boys.
up it broke up the black household unit.
It
Uh,
did. It
Rashad, hold
made
on.
the men hate the women and the women hate the men. Isn't that what we do?
Ooh.
This is the all overall the end result of what 1950 when they knocked on your door and said, "Here, take this $50 and kick your man out."
Yeah.
So $50 was a lot back then. Is it a lot now?
Hell
No.
no.
It's 50.
That's like $10. Hey Rashad, new folks, welcome to Discussions with Didi Parker. We're chatting about this narrative that was created, uh, I say by the government, about the father, the black absentee fathers in children's lives. I want you to hear this. They say she is sister, but she ain't really melanated. I ain't gonna show you her. But take a listen to what she had to say.
Stereotype of the absent black father was actually created by the 50s. In the 50s and 60s, there's this thing called the man in the house rule. Basically, the welfare agencies of the government would go house to house to check if there was a man that lived in that house in order to give them welfare. Any man in that house meant that they couldn't get welfare. So throughout time, obviously, it made black families have to choose between feeding their children and having two parents at home, or simply just a man in the home. So as you could imagine, best case scenario, this was a lifelong problem for those families. Worst case scenario, it was generational broken families. Based off of this one policy that was then actually thrown out by the Supreme Court in 1968. Imagine just how impactful it was that 4 generations later, you're still consequences. So if any
4 generations later, because of this one thing, because they didn't want black men in the home. But no other race they put this on. It was
But
only
guess
black.
what? But guess what though? Do you find it ironic? Like we're trying to get better. So it's not the blame game.
Okay.
But women, just ask yourself this. Do you find it ironic that the way that they decided that the best way to effectively destroy a community is to get the women to supersede the men or to be separate from the men? You don't find it convenient or ironic that what was bred out of that is our women now saying, I don't need a man?
Mm-hmm. And they
You don't
want to
find
be
that
the
ironic?
man.
And the goal was to break the black family. So to break the black community, let's remove the man.
But that's
And
what
do you
they
see
did
how
back in
our
the day.
community got destroyed? Let me ask you this. Slavery didn't break the black family. Jim Crow didn't break the black family. Nothing broke the black family until when our women decided to that be and men. I'm not just putting it just on women. You know what I mean? But that us being not the leaders of our homes and relationships broke and destroyed the black community. I just find that not coincidental. I want y'all the light bulb to click and say, "Damn, why did they do that? Why did they do that?" Now look at our history. We messed up. I mean, it's been ruined. I mean, it's
I
been in
know why.
ruins.
It's because y'all strong. Y'all have more influence than a little bit. Why do you think hip hop is always on the rap? Because those are predominantly what? Black men, right?
Mhm,
Black men with influence, with power.
mhm,
They can
mhm.
tell you what to do just by singing the song over a beat. Isn't that what we did?
Yeah.
So again, what do you do when a man gets that much power? Point in case, Tupac, they kill him because a man with power like that at 25, what do you think he would have had at 55? We would have been the product of the environment in which he was trying to promote, which is
Mhm,
bringing the unity back, bringing the families to back.
mhm.
Anybody that benefits from our poverty and our broken homes, they not gonna go for that. It's messing with their money. So our job is to not be so loud with it, but just to do it. Every time when we're loud with it, they come with another agenda and distract us. Hence, the song you boycotting.
I'm not boycotting the song. I don't care about the song. I'm not boycotting it. I
Whatever
What's
we need
I
to, because it's the
I ain't listening
thing.
to it neither.
Why
But
do y'all give the girls the pass when they're promoting the same toxicity? But if a man promotes it,
you got a
y'all
point.
want to dog them.
You
We
got
can't.
a point.
We can't do to men what we do to women. We can't. That's messed up. But the thing of men, this is what I was taught. Men lead, so they supposed to put their foot down and be like, look, this is what it's gonna be. Cause no matter how much women think they got much power, as much as y'all think this is racism world, this is sexism world. And so men gonna always trump women. And the more we fight, the more they gonna be like, look, bop, bop, bop. So women keep
Mm-hmm.
thinking they winning this war and they don't realize they lost.
You know
Because
why? Because their greatest power is not trying to match what we're good
exactly.
at.
I
You're
can
not going
tell
to
y'all
beat
that
me
for
in
a
any
fact.
type of physical aggression. Your greatest power, look at every great, considered great woman. They always live with soft speaking, seduction, and not physical. Not I'm as strong as you. Not I'm this. They always live from a place where their power is, and that's in their quiet silence, right? And their touch and their charm. See, this is back when I thought that women had intuition. You know how y'all say y'all got that now? These hoes ain't
We
got no
can
damn
feel it.
intuition. They ain't
Hmm.
got no intuition because they ain't got no intuition. They don't. No, they
When they're
literally
not
don't.
in tune, the low vibration women, they don't even know themselves. So they're not going to have anything because they're not even in tune with their self.
But
You
back in
can't
the day,
have
they had it.
intuition if you ain't in tune with yourself. So these women are out of tune with themselves and they're projecting it onto y'all. And the funny thing about it, they projected it onto men so much that men clink they act together, and now the women are looking bad in it. And if I'm
Hmm.
lying, just observe what y'all saying now. Are these women not going outside in nothing but a G string on because Beyonce told them to? Ashanti told them to. So any of these people on the stage tell you to wear stirrups, you're gonna go wear it because they tell you what to do, and they don't know that children are watching us. That's
Yeah.
the
You know
part.
that, and that's the part that really. And I'm gonna let you go, Rashad. But this is the part that really kills me because as a former player, do you know the advice that I give is actually directly affects my ability to get what I used to want out of women? Like me
Mm-hmm.
telling you to have more standards for yourself, me telling you to wait till you get married. I love stupid women that think that they know it all and they smart and I can do whatever I want and I'm liberated and my body is my I can do this is all golden words for we like yeah girl you can sleep with me tonight and that won't make you nothing that will just make you a good woman these are we love these type of women and we
Because
get what
they
we
fall
want out
for
of
the
them.
these are the women that fell for the $50 at the government door. So now you're getting the low vibration women. They've been here.
But
So
then
this the product of the environment of it.
I'm not trying
Heffy said he used to benefit from it. Now
Oh
he's
man,
saving them.
I'm not
yeah.
trying to make no excuses, but I mean, it seemed like it was feed my family or this man. I got babies. I got
Not
three.
all. Not all. I think this is why I said it's not all the woman's fault 100% because there were racial implications in black men were not being able to get certain jobs. So they weren't able to provide. So then some of these women who had children felt like they had to use the government to be able to feed their family. That's why I said I'm not putting it completely on the women. But where it did shift is this was always supposed to be temporary.
Well, she said the
It
law.
became a lifestyle
Okay.
for our
Well,
women.
she said the law, this law where the man couldn't be in the household, I guess, uh, went went away in 1968, is what she
Right,
said.
and but the baby mother culture was already
But it
embedded.
19 by the it started in the 1950s where they were giving out government assistance. So by 1950, 1960, 1960, what is that? 18 years?
Yeah, they were already gone then. Now you got all these women that are baby mother. Well, it's the baby mother culture is at the very beginning of its explosion. You know what I mean? At the very beginning of its explosion. Now being a baby mother is not shamed anymore. Well, we used to shame our women and our men.
Yeah.
You got that girl pregnant.
You're
You got
going
to
to get
marry
married.
her.
Yeah, you're going to marry her.
We were saying now you got women that don't know. I mean, none of it. It's okay. You don't need a man. It's actually sad, man. And we're the only ones like that. Do you know 80% of our children are born out of wedlock? Do you know the second is white women? Do you know the percentage theirs is?
I think you told us what it was.
Just 50%.
80% is not. That's too high. That ain't accurate. It ain't 80% of black kids going out of wedlock. You know what? No, no. I still think that's too high. I go and look at it again. I don't think it's that
And
high.
I know it. I know it. And at the lowest, sometimes they round up, so it might be like 78%. And they'll just generalize and say 80. But I'm willing to bet anything you want to bet that 80% or at least high 70s, if you want to play it safe, that black children are born out of wedlock.
All right.
100%
Well,
fatherless homes.
everyone look that up because there are a lot of myths that are out there about single parent homes in the black community. So yeah,
Can
I'll
I
go
ask you
check it out.
this? Do you know how, yeah, no problem. Do you know how many black women are married in this country? The percentage?
The percentage of black women? No, I do not.
It's less than 25%. Last study showed it was like 24%. At the most, I seen one study when I looked at it recently, it got up to like 26%. But just know this, we can call it even and say 25% of black women are married. That means 75% of black women are not married. And they're only counting women from the above the age of 18, marriageable age, right? 75% of our women are not married. So, but guess what? A lot of them got kids, okay? So, I mean, the numbers just show if only 25% of them are married, then 75% of these kids, at the minimum, have to be being born out of, and that's loose math because there's a lot of variables to that. You know what I mean?
Well,
But definitely look it up. I'm telling you for a fact.
I mean that number is exclusively if you go off of black women, and the
Right.
number is higher because it's a higher number of women out there. If you switch that over black men, then the number is going to be significantly lower. So you got to
But
it's
guess
a
what, though?
calculation that
50% of first of all, it's like 5 times the amount of white women in this country than there are black women. And 50% of their children, I'm sorry, and 50% of their children are born under marriage. 50%, mean half. And it's way more of them
well, I
than it
mean,
is of us.
you know why that is the case. So I mean, yes, there's significantly less children out of wedlock in the white community, but the white community is not under attack. So using them as a part of some argument that that doesn't you know that
I
don't
don't
move
think,
move the
I don't
needle.
think, I don't think the issue with that is the attack is never, we were far more under attack in days of past and we were married at a higher rate. That's all I'm saying. So I don't think the attack got nothing to
Well,
do with it
but
because
yeah, yeah, but you got to understand, bro. The fact that we were under attack then, what you're seeing now is a manifestation of what started back then. You don't hold the people today accountable for what started generations ago. That's just like, and I don't like to use animals. However, that's just like the experiment that was done where if you take a dog and her pup, right? And all of a sudden you bring a shoe into the equation, both dogs are sniffing on the shoe, right? And so you bring it again, both dogs are sniffing on the shoe. But on the third day, if you take that shoe and you beat the hell out of the mother, and then the fourth day you take that shoe and beat the hell out of the mother, the entire time the baby is watching the shoe beat the mother. And so you do that for a month straight. At some point, you're gonna go bring the shoe out. You move the mother from the equation, but you bring the shoe out. Now the pup is afraid of the shoe. So now the pup is grown up, afraid of the shoe. That brings another pup into the equation. The little pup sees that the mama is afraid of the shoe. So now the little pup is afraid of the shoe, and the little pup has never seen the shoe do anything. It's a
I know
consequence
exactly.
of what has happened in the past.
I know exactly the
Like,
example that you give. The reason why that doesn't fit for us is because we're talking about if you're saying that started what in the 60s or the 50s,
yeah,
you're saying the issue with that is black people endured far worse 100 years before that. They watched buck breaking. They watched their men get raped. They seen their children get raped. They seen their women get raped. They seen their little boys get raped. They've seen far worse and that did not break the black family. It still didn't break the
Well,
black family. So to
well,
say they did they seen far more horrific stuff and endured it for way longer. Forget a month. We're talking hundreds of years. You see what I'm
well,
saying?
yeah, but
And still that did not break the black family. They at the penalty of death, you couldn't even get married as a slave. And they still was getting married under the penalty of death. You know what I'm saying? So this is why I say that scenario don't necessarily fit because we endured way worse for way longer and still kept our values. This was a
so
recent phenomenon.
here's the flaw in your logic. When you talk about the elements that occurred to us back in slavery, no matter how bad or horrific it all of that brought us together more so than anything else. All of it, everything that happened was trauma. And you know that you bond around trauma. What happened in the 50s and the 60s, it was a
Mm,
change in strategy. They understood that you can't beat black people into separation. You have to do something else. So
right.
now they started giving us options. That's why they desegregated everything. That is where the
Okay,
separation began. The
I agree with
separation did
that.
not begin back in slavery. And so you can't look at that
Okay, I agree with that.
as the,
I didn't
yeah, and
say
you can't
that,
look
but
at
you
it as,
proving my point though. But go ahead.
well, no, I mean, no, I'm not. What, at the end of the day, I'm saying that when the separation started back in the 50s and the 60s, there was more separation that they added on top of it. Now you bring drugs into the community. Now you bring guns
Right.
into the community. Now you
Yeah,
bring the gangster rap. Now you bring the jails. All of that stuff
played a part.
systemically separated us. And
Yeah,
so you can't judge a child in 1999 that now in her 2000s has a kid and does not know how to parent. You can't blame that child for not knowing how to parent when there were institutions that were built that
yeah.
kept her and everyone around her and everyone that came before her in a position to where they don't understand where our power is. The reason why they're taking all of this stuff away from the books is because it's ignorance that keeps you in bondage. They have kept us ignorant by playing this stank ass music, this fucking uh young mommy, you know, and all of this other shit. That they got going on right now. All of this is systemically done because they realize we can't beat these people into submission. So now they are giving
Right.
us all of these options, all of these distractions, everything to make us want to
Mm.
forget
Yep.
where we came from.
Yep.
And
I think
so the only reason I'm bringing it up is because you do a lot of blaming these women and these ladies and these horrible hoes and all of this other stuff. And yeah, I understand, but that is a byproduct of a much larger issue that we continue to forget needs to be addressed. The
I
problem, I
think
will
that
say it again, we're blaming too much. We got to get past the fucking blaming. Even if they
I'm not
blame us,
blaming though.
here's it. You're not blaming?
No. I'm not blaming.
I'm sorry, because
I'm
most of the time that
highlighting.
we're on here, I continue to hear you talk about, yeah, man, these single mothers are the reason that X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
That
Now,
sounds
to
like a
me,
blame.
I'm no, I'm, hi- I'm no, I'm highlighting what I see. I'm telling you what I see. I'm not telling you. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I guess the word blame can be viewed in two different ways. I'm
Okay.
contributing the factors that I see that's causing these issues in our community, and I'm just reciting them. I see this now.
Yeah.
I'm not. Now, if you want to call that blame, that's okay. Earlier, what I said earlier was some of a lot of the things you just said. I just didn't go in detail. I said, and DD, you might remember. I said, in addition to the child support, to the government assistance, there were a lot of other racial implications that play a part in the destruction of our community. I
Yep.
wasn't just saying that, and all of those things, like you said, drugs. I said and you brought up guns and the alcohol and all that. I agree. I even said I'm not just blaming the women. People never hear these parts. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just blaming the women on that part when it comes to the breakup, because I knew it was more of a systematic, engineered thing to break us down. But this is what I'm also not. I disagree with you with. I agree with everything except this one point. When you said there's a bigger issue, I don't believe that. I believe it starts with us, and we can control us, and we can change us. All of these external things that play into the demise of us, 100% they can be acknowledged, and we can acknowledge them for what they are. But we are our biggest enemy. We are our own biggest enemy. That's my belief now. I don't use that rhetoric I don't like to use that rhetoric that my Republican people I know say stuff like, "Oh, we want his handouts and we so helpless and we want government so bad." And yeah, I'm not saying that, but I do believe this: we are our biggest enemy. We can inflict the change that we want. You see what I'm saying? And unfortunately, Rashad, it's going to require some what you call blaming. For me to be able to fix a problem, I got to be able to highlight what the problem is. And if I
No,
say
there's a
all of
difference
these baby
between
mamas,
there's a difference between identifying and blaming, right? You're
right,
talking about
right,
getting to the root cause, right?
right.
Us being our biggest issue is not accurate, because your biggest issue is where the problem starts. Whatever caused the problem is your biggest problem, not what the effect. It's cause and effect. The effect is not the biggest issue, because the effect is basically because of something that occurred that, I don't want to say forced, but made something happen. So in order to fix a problem, you got to deal with the root cause.
Watch this. Watch this. Is the puppy afraid of the shoe?
Yep.
Do the is the shoe beating them anymore?
Nope.
So we got to deal with the effect now, not the cause. Meaning, what I'm saying is
Okay.
they implemented certain things, and
Yeah. All right.
initially that was the issue.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got to trick niggas to do nothing. They gonna do it to themselves now. You
All
ain't even
right.
got to worry about it. So we need to
Mhm.
address us, because it ain't no white person with their magical hands over us no more. We do it
Ow.
all on our
What?
own.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Oh
So
no,
you
man.
see, so here's the deal. Here's the deal.
We
This
do it all
magical
on our
hand,
own, man.
this
Yeah.
magical hand is a pen. All right. White people are in control of the magical legislation. Right. It
Right.
is the magical legislation that continues to keep us in these particular situations that we're in.
What
Right. Watch this.
legislation?
Legislation. Okay. So watch
No,
this.
what legislation keep our women having unmarital sex, having babies,
See,
and
that's all you're focused on. Right. You're only talking
I
about that
think
one
that's
thing.
the. You know why? And I promise I'll be done. You
All
know
right.
why? Because I think that's 80% of our issue. I told you, I think that's the tree that branches off into so many other things, dog. That's
Mhm.
why I'm attacking baby mother culture.
Okay.
Is
All right.
because
Okay.
I think that is the destruction of us.
But
Okay. So what?
Ultimately.
you can't attack it because the root cause, the reason why we have baby mama culture is because of the government.
So watch this. So watch this. Okay. Watch this. Okay. Baby mother culture. All right. $9.25
Hmm.
for a full time job at Walmart. All right.
Okay.
That is an unlivable wage.
Yeah.
Not only is that an unlivable wage, Walmart also prevents these baby mothers, because Walmart is full of them. They work there. All right. So that's why I'm using Walmart. Walmart also prevents them from working 40 hours. The reason they prevent them from working 40 hours is because then they don't have to give them health insurance.
Yep.
Okay.
Right. And so
Well,
when you have people that are not skilled, right? When you have people that don't have the same options, everybody talking about, I worked hard and you can do it the same way that I did. That's bullshit. That is not accurate. Everybody, everybody does not have access to the same opportunities. Everybody does not have the same frame of mind. Everybody does not have the same people around them that are potentially pushing them to do things, right? It's just a fact that everybody is born to different situations, and everybody benefits from situations differently. The only thing that I'm saying is that if you have somebody that does not have a lot of mm, success around them, right? And however you define that, you don't have if you have people that don't have a lot of success around them, but they want to be law-abiding citizens. They want to try to contribute to society, right? They can only
Mhm.
go to the places where they're able to go, right? You talk about everybody can't. Everybody should. You want to do something, go to school. Everybody can't afford school. I know that 100%, right? And so if you take a young lady that did not
Ninety
have
percent of people that go to college can't afford school. That's why everybody in debt.
that's
What
a
are we
whole
talking
different.
about?
Yeah,
Well,
that's a
go
whole
ahead, go,
time.
go, go, go ahead.
Let's not switch. I get you, brother.
Bye.
I get you. But so this young lady that grew up in a toxic environment around toxic people that have been attempting to use her. She may have a couple of kids, made bad decisions. You know, I'm not blaming anybody, but made bad decisions, right? Okay. So she's in a position where she's now, hey, let me go and try to, I got to feed my family. So now she goes to Walmart. She goes to
It's
Kroger.
too late.
It's too late. But here's the deal, though, bruh. Here's my thing.
Yeah,
You cannot vilify and damn somebody for making bad decisions.
sure I can.
No,
Sure, sure
but
I
see
can. I don't
that's
know
the
about
problem. So, but
vilify.
see,
No,
that's
I'm not
100%
vilifying the
vilify. You said
person.
it's too late to
No,
say that
it
it's too
is
late for
too.
somebody.
Listen. Every decision, listen, listen. Some decision has what you call lasting consequences. It's like if
100%.
I go commit a felony and I do my jail time, I do 20 years, and I come out and I can't get a job, and and they keep saying because I'm a felon or I can't get the employment that I want. I'm going to tell him, yeah, it's too late. It's
Okay.
what happens when you make certain decisions. Everything you can't wash off.
Okay. 100%.
So when I
100%.
say when you just say, maybe she made a mistake, had a couple kids, no. You ain't gonna just skim past that. That is, yes, it's too late. You done messed
Okay.
up. You done made some messed up. Not, and I ain't saying literally, but I'm saying you made it about it. You made your life tremendously harder.
100%.
Tremendously harder.
100%. So let's put it this way. So now this information and this knowledge that you're giving her,
Yeah.
if she never received that upfront,
Right.
if she didn't come in contact with a hefe
Yeah.
until her decisions were already made, everyone
Right.
around her was making
Right.
bad decisions to the point where
Sure.
she didn't realize that they were bad decisions. This is
Sure.
everybody I know got kids.
Right.
Everybody I know, ain't got no daddy in the house. This is what I know.
What I knew
Everybody does
too.
not
What I
have
knew too.
access. No, everybody doesn't have access to positive influences in their lives when those decisions are made, right?
100%.
And
100%.
so the way that I look at it, because I
Hmm.
don't know everybody's background, right?
Right.
I take anyone and everyone in their situation, and you do what God and
Hmm.
Jesus would do, right? If we say that
Hmm.
these are the people that we pray to, right?
Right.
There is always redemption. There is always an opportunity beyond the mistakes that you have made,
Oh
right?
no.
So if we
No.
give up, you said, "Oh no, what?"
Only spiritual redemption. It ain't no worldly redemption. Everything you can
But
get some
once
spiritual
again,
redemption,
but
but you
here's
might
the
not
thing.
get no worldly. You go kill somebody, they give you the death penalty. Did you get any redemption? Absolutely not. There are again, yeah, you could God will forgive you, but that don't mean while you on this earth you'll get redemption. Absolutely not.
Okay, so let's put it this way, right? So there's definitely a difference of opinion here because there are some people that believe that there is still value in those that have made mistakes, right? And
Yeah,
and and, and
I think they have value too.
now and let's put it this way because spiritually it goes beyond that. When you talk
Right.
about you say you believe the stories in the Bible,
Mhm.
Jesus took people that
Yeah.
have done terrible things and allowed
Right.
them to go and do greater things. If Jesus would have thrown away everyone that he
Somebody,
utilized to, I'm sorry?
I was just going to, some wouldn't say great. Some people wouldn't say greater things, but go ahead. Because if you know all of the people he used, a lot of them died horrifically, lived very horrific lives, a lot of prosecution. So, yeah, I'm a Christian. So, yeah, they did a bunch of great things, but their actual walking life, how they were prosecuted everywhere they went, and now they were. murdered and all that type of stuff, they did not ride off into the sunset and live this great life, okay?
So
They
at
had
the
a
end of
lot of long suffering. But go ahead.
but that's not everybody's story, right? And but we won't delve
Yeah,
too
yeah,
too
yeah,
deep into
sure.
that. So the point that I'm making is that you never know
Mhm.
who out there has an ordained calling on their life, right? Because God uses people,
Sure,
uses people to take care of his people
sure.
because you never know what God has in store for the person that is in front of you, which is why he says you are supposed to take care of those that are the least.
Hmm.
And if you are not in a position to where you can consider someone that has made a mistake, if you
Right,
can't consider that they still have value, then you
right.
never really know if you're blocking God's blessing for their life or not. Because Hefe, I guarantee you, God
Mhm.
uses you to bless people, right?
Sure,
100%.
sure,
I know it
sure.
for sure. But
Right.
the problem with that is that sometimes Hefe use his uses his sanctified judgment to
Hmm.
determine who deserves that and who doesn't.
I disagree with that, and I
Okay.
think we this often happens with women. That's not a shot at you. We confuse where I'm making judgment on indictment on this woman. I have empathy for my community and the fact that a lot of us don't know no better, so we didn't do any better, right? I never brought up that woman not having any value. I never that never came out of my mouth. I never said that baby mother doesn't have any value. Am condemning her actions. I don't control the world. I'm telling you, this is the world we live in. I said when you make these actions, the world creates these things for you, not Hefe. I am not the reason why Walmart won't give you a full-time job. I don't control Walmart, right? I'm telling you, I just live in the world. I
Okay.
don't control the world.
All right.
I'm condemning your action for a lot of other reasons, but I'm also then telling you, and this is the consequences of your actions. I didn't control the consequence. Okay,
So
this is the consequence that predates me. I'm just
okay,
letting you know
fair enough.
if you do this, this is what's going to happen.
Okay, but
That's
here's
it.
my but here's my point because and actually I mean it was stated, but that's fine. Well, let's go to another point that you just said. You said you are condemning, right?
Right.
So that means that you're being judgmental. Yes?
Yeah, 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 absolutely. I like
That's
what you said
supposed
earlier about sanctified judgment. I like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I like that. A
that's
righteous
supposed to
judgment.
be reserved for God.
No, no, that's not true. The
No,
Bible says we're supposed to judge righteously.
no. So now that definition of judging righteously, right? So that
Right, me,
means that
yeah.
you're supposed to be able to identify if someone is doing right or wrong. Yes.
To identify if someone is committing a sin or not. That's it. So if I
Okay.
say you're doing this and that's wrong, that's it. I'm not saying it because I'm better. I constantly say I'm a former player, a former hoe, all this other
Yeah.
stuff. I'm not acting like I'm so sanctified. What I'm saying is I acknowledge that that's a sin and that's wrong. So I'm telling you that's wrong. That's it. Don't tell
Okay.
me I'm without correction. You know what I'm saying?
No, fair enough. But
Mhm.
as I was going through my scenario, you kind of
Mhm.
stopped me, right? When I brought up the fact that yes, she had the two kids, right? I was
Yeah.
just setting the stage for where I was going, but you
Okay.
never allowed me to get to where I was going because you stopped everything right there and you said, "Well, because she got two kids, well, fuck it, whatever else you got to say, it don't even matter no more." That was basically what
Yeah.
I
From the
took from it.
worldly perspective. Yeah.
But
Yeah. From
but
the worldly perspective.
but
Yeah.
here's the thing: worldly perspective or not, there are people within the world that
Yeah.
God utilizes for his glory. And if all you do is condemn people based upon worldly perception and you're not willing to say, okay, this is who you have been, but there is a
Okay.
potential that you are able to go beyond that, then there are a ton of people that you're leaving out there that may actually turn into phenomenal things. There are a
Yeah,
lot
but
of
I'm not condemning no individual baby mother. I'm condemning baby mother culture.
okay,
I'm not
but
condemning the
I was talking
individual.
specifically about one particular baby mother in my scenario. I wasn't talking about a culture. So I was
Okay. I
talking
think we
about one
just
particular individual.
Okay. I think we're addressing different things because when I said that, I was under the understanding of not just trying to skip over the fact that she had 2 or 3 kids and she made a couple mistakes. Because to me, it sounded like we was minimizing it. Like, all right, it happened. It is what it is. And I was saying, no, 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 no. We can't just skip over that. That's like saying, okay, I killed 2 or 3 people back in the day. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I'm a felon now. Like, no, there are consequences that follow you till this day. And that's all I was
100%.
saying. I wasn't
Okay.
saying neither one of them don't have no value. I'm not
Well,
condemning them as people. I'm condemning the action, and I'm also highlighting the fact that there will be consequences that may follow you for a long time.
so
Hold
once
on.
again,
Hold on, let me read some comments first, Rashad.
mhm,
Mama said, can't say it's all women's fault because a lot of men are taught by men to be players and not get married. Uh,
100%.
Mama
Agree
said,
with
I
that.
agree with Rashad. Mama said, the government is still controlling us. She said, so Effa, you're saying you don't get redemption either since there is none? She said, Effa, I've heard you say baby mamas don't have value. People can say Effa was a
The
player.
context.
Uh, People can say Fa was a player and a hoe. He doesn't deserve any redemption?
I never said nobody don't deserve redemption, right? I never said these things, right? I never said nobody deserves redemption. I was just saying that some consequences. There are players. How about this? There are players that have STDs that they can't get rid of for the rest of their life, right? There are consequences for actions, right? And it just is what it is. I'm not wishing these consequences on people.
But
I'm telling you that's the reality,
Fa, I want to ask you. You say there are consequences, so I want to go
right?
back to what we've been talking about. The consequences to this program being created, the consequences to women having to make that choice because okay, maybe there weren't a lot of jobs for men at the time and they had to make the decision to feed their family. Do you not think that the baby mama culture is a part of this and why we have the culture?
Yeah,
Because
100%, 100%.
okay,
I do. I said earlier, I do believe that contributed to it. And then I think I said it spiraled out of control. Then it became the norm. So it became what we call maybe a quick fix or maybe something we just had to endure for a period of time. Then it became the standard. Then it completely flipped. It went from 80% of black women were married, which would mean 80. Hold on, they said they have a statistic, and I don't know how accurate this is, but they said 80% of women were virgins. Black women were virgins on their wedding night. That means that 80% of the children were born under marriage. And then it completely flipped to now only 20% are born under marriage and 80% aren't. I'm
you know
saying
why?
that then became the standard
You know why they
that
flip?
then why flip?
Because of players.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think well,
Really?
how do you become a player?
Getting versions, obviously.
Yeah, how do you get virgins if it's not great? How do you get them? Players exist because of women. That's the only way we can get. I can't
So,
No,
but
force women.
so here's the deal. You have to remember, all right, because that's not black and white. Players
Right.
finesse. Players manipulate. Players do all of the things to accomplish the goal. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if you just make it seem like, yeah, dudes just out here and they just walking and running in the pussy. No, these dudes are intentionally manipulating women. And that's the part that we can't. Oh, bro, stop the madness. Come
No,
on,
no,
you
no, no,
talking
no,
about
no, no,
play.
no, 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 no. I think maybe 30 years ago, 40 years ago, you would be right. Today, no, 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 no. You don't have
So,
to manipulate these
well,
women. You don't
so,
have to do nothing to these women today.
so,
Okay? You can
so,
just tell them pull up.
so
You know what
here's
I
the
mean?
deal. Once again, that is also a byproduct, right? If
Agreed.
this,
No,
if
yeah,
this
agreed,
had not
agreed.
started somewhere, it
Yeah.
wouldn't have evolved. And so, right, here we go. We got to pull this back, right? Because I know you have your challenges with this, but once again, this we cannot overlook the role that the black man plays in the baby mother culture. right?
Okay.
As much as I'm here for my dudes, bro. Like I am accountability, but I'm an accountability partner, right? I
Okay.
don't let us off the hook because let's be honest,
Yeah.
us as a society, we are more harder on our women, black girls than we are on our black boys.
Mm.
We are not as hard on this black. All of these athletes, if you can run, if you can jump, if you can throw a ball, we will let you get away with murder.
If you're attractive, it's the same thing.
Not necessarily murder, because let's look at it this way. If you're attractive, then people are going to come use you for what you got, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so
Sure.
that attraction gets pulled away, but the athletic talent, you can't take that away.
But the judicial system is lighter on women, just
Well,
in
no, no,
general.
no, I'll give you that 100%.
Okay.
Yes, I'm not
Because
doubting that.
they killed this Uber driver the other day. They in DC they killed the Uber driver, two black girls, and they gave him one of them got home confinement for 2 years, and the other one didn't even get manslaughter, and this man dead.
And
Now
so
both of them they was like 16 and 17, and to be honest with you, I'm not wishing them to go to jail, but
no, to your
they
point.
killed somebody.
Yeah, no. But you also got to remember that's a part of the gameplay. That
Okay,
is a part of the gameplay. It's like if you allow the women, if you give them slaps on the wrist, they do that because women are not their threat. The black men are their threat. So yeah, you're gonna be harder on the black men because if you keep the black man down, then it is easier to control the black family or lack thereof,
okay,
right? And so I understand the role that we are supposed to have, but let's be honest, because of some of the stuff that happened back there in the 19s and 50s and all that other stuff, a lot of us black men aren't accepting our roles. You know
Mm.
what? Can you say that a player is a leader?
no, no,
100%. So do you see more players or do you see more leaders?
more players,
100%. So
100%.
if you see more players from us and the
Right.
black women see more players from us, then why do you think they have a hard time finding a man to lead or even willing to be led by?
The
Because they're
only
seeing
dis-
mostly players.
the only disagreement I have, I don't think the majority of black men are players. I think the majority of black men that our women desire are players. There are a lot of regular black men that women just don't give no play to. So
Fair
this
enough.
is why I have to say, no, the black men is not just 80% players. No, 70% of black men probably have a difficult time even getting a woman. We need to
So
remember,
70.
everybody is not as handsome as Rashad and Coons. Okay, everybody. I'm just being honest. Everybody don't go outside and just get girls. The average black man struggles getting a girl. That's what
So
people don't realize. So they don't
so
go outside and just get women.
it's an accurate point. I
Mhm.
won't say 70%. That's way too high.
No.
However, I also don't believe that there are that many women out there that are specifically stuck on getting that top tier percent. Those are just the ones that are the loudest, that make the most noise, that are on the internet, right?
I would
There's some
wish
women
that
out
was
there,
true.
but dude,
I
I'm
think
telling
it's
you,
embedded in our culture now. I
that's
think it's
just
embedded in us now. If you ask a woman what she wants, it's not the blame game, but I just think even the average girl. I remember this girl said it perfectly, and I'm gonna let you go, Didi. But this girl said it perfectly. She was like, "I remember when rich people were separate was a separate standard for average people. Like the average person didn't have rich people expectations. You see what
Mm.
I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they if you bought her a car, it didn't matter if it was a Honda or a Hyundai. They was immensely grateful, right? Because they didn't have an expectation of having rich level type of lifestyle. Now, the, if it's not a Range Rover, it's like frowned upon. Like, hey, you bought me this little. I'm talking about even the average person has these expectations.
I don't believe
That's what
that.
I believe.
I don't
That's
believe
what I
the
see.
average person are looking for Range Rovers.
Nah,
There's
I mean,
there,
it's a bit extreme. But the point I'm trying to make is they have high expectations, and meaning like for even for gratitude. I knew if I bought you a car, they used to be the greatest nigga in the world. Now, if it's not a specific car, how about that? If it's not a specific
Okay.
car, it's less gratitude associated. And everybody, that's why I be confused with our women a lot of times. I'm like, do y'all think we rich? Like, do y'all think black people, all of them want rich niggas? I'm like, what is,
Well,
how we not?
but let's be realistic.
Hey, Big G.
Ain't a good portion of black dudes out there flossing and throwing money around like they are?
That don't mean they rich.
But once again, what is the perception?
Well, we do that with the no. The men move to the beat of the women. Men are doing those things because this is what women desires.
So
Okay.
how can we hold the women accountable when the men are doing what they believe will
Women.
make the women think that they're at a certain status or a certain level? It's like
Well,
if you
listen, if
actually
all of the
if the
men
men,
get that attention, if all of the top level men get, if because men are not stupid, so if you got men on the sideline looking, noticing that they're not getting any play, but these small groups of guys are getting all this play, they have the jury in the cars and this and that and that and this. Yes, you will breed people wearing fake jewelry. You will breed people now renting cars to make it appear like it's there. You will get that because this is where the attention is being given to.
okay, so then are we not to blame for the desires that they are wanting because the attention is coming from us?
No, well.
It's her
We,
you
we
getting what
we could be the one to blame, but it's because we can be the one to blame, but it's because we're not in the homes teaching our daughters what to value. How about
Let's
that?
right, okay, and so let's be realistic.
okay.
Is the lack of men being in the home more so that women don't want us in the home? This is today. I'm not talking about the 50s.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
the lack
today.
of men is the lack of men being in the home because we don't want to be there, or because women don't want us there?
I think it's I think it's a mixture of both, but I'm tuning into what I really think it is. I think it's a lot of women. I think a lot of men are having unprotected consensual sex with women that they don't want to have children with.
100%. So
That's what it is. And
once
I don't think
again,
that these women want us in the home or not don't want us in the home. I think we don't desire these men don't desire these women. And when they give themselves away so cheaply, they're just taking it. They're just taking it. They're like, okay, if you're gonna give it to me for free or for cheap, I'm gonna take it. Now they have consequences from their actions.
right, fair enough. So when you have a generation of men out here that are out there procreating with women they don't desire,
Yeah,
can you see the responsibility kind of has to start with the person that's out there that's creating all of these environments? Because think about it. Watch this. And
agreed.
this is said all the time. A woman can have one child a year.
Right.
A
A
man
man could have
maybe.
unlimited.
Yeah.
That would really make that would really be a strong point if there are not more women having children than men. Meaning there are more fathers that are there are more men that are childless than women in this country.
Well, yeah,
So what that
that's
means
because of the
is
players. That's because of the
no,
players.
no, right. That means women are constantly having multiple children with men that already have children. See
Right.
what I'm saying? With other men. I'm sorry,
So
with other women.
there are more women out here that are being put into a situation because of men that are manipulating them.
No, not no. You just took blame away from them. There are women putting themselves into situations,
Oh,
right?
so
That
they're approaching the men. Is that what you're saying?
the approach doesn't matter. Did they open their legs?
Why does the approach not matter?
Because the approach doesn't equal you opening your legs.
The approach shows the intent. The intent is
Yeah,
for the
my intent
man.
might be I want to get some pussy. That
Okay,
might have been
so
my intent.
all right,
Did
so
you give it to me?
well, no,
Yeah.
100%,
Not
100%.
yeah, yeah.
But once again, here's the thing: women aren't approaching men. Men are approaching women. So my point is, regardless of whatever the end result is, what
These high level
started?
men, baby. Not these high level men. I'm gonna tell you right now,
Fair
Chris Brown don't
But
talk to
no,
no girl.
but watch this.
Okay? When you
But
on a
watch this.
certain
Wait, hold
level.
on, wait. But Chris Brown ain't having kids. So we're not talking about Chris Brown. We're not talking about the high level
Are
men.
you saying simply because the men are the ones that go up to these women and ask for their number or engage with them that somehow they the ones that were manipulated into becoming a baby mother?
Well, I mean, once again, at the end of the day, when we talked about players, you agreed that players are manipulators. You already agreed to that. So we can't pull back
Yes.
from that now, right? So let's not pull back from that now.
I
So,
don't like that word, but
but you've already
I
said
think
it.
I think I, no, no. I said there is some manipulation in being a player, but I don't view them as manipulators because there have been 90%, 70% of the women that I've laid down with were willing participants. Meaning,
Oh,
like I
of
did
course,
not.
because
No, no,
yeah,
no,
you're not
no,
going
no.
to rape it. You're not
No, no,
going to
no.
rape it. So
No, no.
yeah.
When I say willing participants, I'm not talking about consensual sex. I'm talking about they knew who they were dealing with. Hey, listen, I deal with other women. I'm not interested in having a relationship right now. When we together, we together. That used to be my favorite line. When we not together, we not together. See, that's not no manipulation. That's just a willing participant, a person that's aware of what they're signing up for.
All right. So let me close this door real quick because we've all been players, right?
Yeah.
That hey, and let's get real for a second. What you're
Well,
saying is 100% bullshit. That's
I
what
don't think
men
so.
use. That's what men use because they know that if you tell them that up front, it
Yeah.
absolves you from all responsibility. That is a fucking game, bro.
Why is
And
that
look,
bullshit
if we
though?
don't, it's bullshit that you're saying that it's
These women are not rational, smart, intelligent creatures. Do they not have the ability to comprehend and make a decision
so.
based on
Let me help.
information given to them?
I'm glad you said that. So let me help you out real quick. Women can be rational, they can be smart, they can be intelligent, they can be all of these things, except for when a man steps in.
Mm.
Men are the Achilles heel of the majority, not all, but the majority of women. My best friend's dad used to tell me, he said, if you ever have a daughter, do not send her to school out in another state, right? Because the tuition is going to be too much that one nappy head little nigga can come and mess her entire life up. No matter how smart you are, no matter how educated and all these other things, the Achilles heel to most women out here is a man. And so all of that stuff that you're saying is, hey,
So
she
they
should be
just
intelligent. She should be
they just
smart. She should
hopeless.
be this
So
and this.
these women out here are just hopeless victims, right? They
So,
really
so
ain't
watch,
have a
watch this.
say in it.
Okay, so watch this. So watch this.
Oh boy, here we go.
Look at the results. Wouldn't the results reflect what you just said? Wouldn't it reflect that the majority are just hopeless?
Oh no, no. Oh well, yeah, I agree with that part. The problem is,
Hey,
oh no, 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 no. Listen,
I'm using
I'm gonna
your
say
word.
it, and I'm gonna say it in a meaner way, right? I tell my wife this all the time, and she don't like it. I said, this is why women need to be told what to do. You can't leave it to them to make decisions because they don't know how to make decisions without their emotions being involved, which also usually leads them to a bad decision. This would work for our benefit as a player. I know I can tell you the truth because I know that I can also say some other stuff that you're not going to actually process what I'm saying fully because you're really addicted to the idea of me and it feeling good. So you'll accept it for now because your arrogance, honestly, is inside of you believes that you're going to change me. And because I know that, I'm just gonna. But that's still you though. See, that's still you doing it. I just know what you're doing. I
So
know
what?
you think that you're gonna change me.
So then doesn't that sound like a game? Doesn't
It's
that sound
all
like
man.
manipulation? Well, you
It's
just
all.
said it's not
No, we're both.
manipulation.
No, I'm not
Oh
manipulating
god.
though. But we're both playing the game though, because she
Dude.
is going. She is. She's going into it believing that she's going to be able to do something. I'm going into it knowing that she ain't going to be able to do something.
So in
But
other
we
words,
just. But we just playing. But we both playing the game.
but you're exploiting her core.
Her ignorant. Her. No, but that's her
Whatever
confidence.
you
I'm not
what
exploding it. Come on now.
no, you no,
I,
that's exploitation. That's the definition of exploitation. You know
I don't think so.
what someone is going to
No,
do.
I don't know for sure. That's the
Oh,
issue.
come on.
No, I don't
All
know
right.
100%. But look,
Mama
All
says so.
right, I'm done. I'm done.
We're gonna do final thoughts, so y'all get them ready. Mama says so. What were your consequences for sleeping with many women? FN, you need to leave
oh
them.
man,
LOL. And she said they spend money.
child
All right.
support.
final thoughts. Healing Hurt Men's Ministry. I'm gonna let you go first because I know they unpacked a lot, didn't they?
They're boys, so they were talking men talk. That's why we're girls. We were listening. We just listened.
I was
Never
saying,
cut in.
yeah.
Because I wanted to hear from a man's point of view. Don't want to be a player.
No
Don't want to
more.
be a player. Don't want to be a player no more. Um,
He
uh,
wasn't a player. He just crushed a lot.
Crushed a lot. That's right. Compassion.
so see,
Hey, it was what it
okay.
was. I say.
I forgot what we was even talking about because I was interested in what they were saying. I was
No,
like, man,
what they were talking about tied in to what we were talking about because Rashad was trying to drive home the point that past things causes consequences, and this is why we have the results of what we have today. I know FA, you baby mama culture, and we could have maybe went in another direction, but 18 years we were already knee deep in it. So if you have something that you have been taught, like he said, and seen, it's a learn now becomes a learned behavior. So that's what they saw. So
yeah.
how do you unlearn that behavior?
That was the
It
hence.
start with you though.
That
Everybody
That's
has
hence
to
the
understand
reasons. That's
we are
what.
all responsible for only ourselves. If
Yeah.
you don't like what you see, like okay, Hefe said he used to be a player. He clearly don't
Mm,
want to be a player no more. He's now
right.
married. He saw the benefits of it in the beginning was
And the
more the
damage.
chaos of it in the
Yeah.
end. And
Yeah. And
that's
the
what we're
damage I
seeing
caused.
now in 4 decades. This is the end result. You got
mm-hmm.
Mm,
feminine men who half of
mm,
dress like women, half of them act like women,
yeah.
half of them want to be women, and then you have women who don't love themselves, respect themselves. They're out there trying to get the attention the best way they can. So basically, half nakedness, being
Hmm.
exposed to get a player so that they can change the player, and the player wants to change the horse. So they now want to change each other, but they're all playing games. So basically, the end result of taking the structure out of a home, the end result is now you got people playing games.
Yeah.
So let's stop playing games and build homes again because honestly, the children are the suffering. The more we keep talking about these conversations, all
Yeah.
of us were children at one point. So what we didn't like seeing as kids, I didn't like. I changed in myself to not be that adult version to my children. That's all I could do. I couldn't change nobody. I could just change me in it and how I approach situations. We can only change ourselves in it, and hopefully somebody's watching us to want to do the same. That's it.
Mm,
Because honestly, nobody's perfect. We've all made mistakes on this
Yeah.
earth. And that's the whole point of making them so that we don't fall for the okey doke again of letting a government agency come to my door and say, hey, for magic beans, you take my man. You just saw my man. I wouldn't give that man up for the world. So my job is to protect that man. And so I do that by making sure I'm not a problem to that man. That's the truth in it. So I knew his truth before he got with me. I've been through a lot of mother jokers that was wanting to be the hefes of the world, the players. And so I stopped taking men
And
serious.
Rashad, go ahead.
He
Great.
said he
Rashad, you
was
know
crushing.
what I'm
He was crushing. You was playing.
Oh,
But nah, seriously, a lot of guys will get me and think, oh, I got a trophy wife. And I'm like, dude, I don't play trophy because they get dusty. So it goes both ways in a lot of stuff we
Mm,
do. Seriously, I look at it like, what can I do to help this man be better himself? The same way he came in, he told me he made me an honest woman. I took that statement and was like, I was already honest, but I understood what he said. Because
mm,
before, if he wouldn't have married me, I would have been what y'all talking about, baby mama culture. I got two baby
mm,
daddies because the first baby daddy I had, I was a kid trying to be a grown
mm.
up. And the grown up uh, outcome was
saying?
me having a baby. So when
okay.
I had the baby, I was like, oh my gosh, this is real. But I never took it out on baby daddy. All I
Mm,
did was raise his son without the emotions of yo daddy ain't shit. That's the truth.
right. Okay.
So,
Because I later found out his father actually was hurt from his childhood, and that's what the projection came. So it was really deep. And that was what helped heal me in a lot of way, that it wasn't my fault what he put me through. It was his hurt that put him through what he put me through. So I began to heal in it. If we contribute to all of what the government is giving us, we the problem. But if we learn to heal ourselves and say, let's not need nobody but each other, we can
Mhm.
begin to recreate that platform of, it is not single parent households, but it is now households with two parents, because you do need both the parents. The structure there, I only wanted that because that's how I was raised. I only see my father in the home. I never seen another man with my mother, and I never seen another woman with my father. So that's how I wanted my kids to see. Did it work out like that? No. My oldest two kids saw a different narrative than my last three children. And
Mm.
that's the truth.
See,
So the consequences, I just prayed on it, and God blessed me with a
Right.
different ending and a different result. And now I'm a grandmother, so I can say a different
Okay,
storyline than
Grandma.
than baby mama
bro,
culture. I didn't want to be a bitter baby
that's a
mom. That's
man
not.
violation, bro. Don't know to put them fingers up. We don't do
I'm
that,
tapping into my femininity.
man.
I wouldn't
Rashad,
say,
you
please
had a
don't
That.
start that.
No,
Oh,
no,
you had a
no.
no. See,
question. You
that's
had a
where it
question for
starts.
Rashad.
If
Yeah, no.
we influence y'all, that's not good. If y'all influence us, it has to be good, good
Yeah.
intentions, because girls are like little kids. We just want to be loved like
Yeah.
puppies. And
Yeah.
when we stop fighting that and saying, oh, I don't need a man, that's us lying to ourselves
Yeah.
to psych ourselves out that we don't. But
Yeah.
if you really want a man, act like the woman that these men really do desire. Because I don't think they hearing what y'all like. They
Yeah.
only know what the boys like. The boys like the
The
hoochie
BBL.
coochie la la la.
The
But
BBL.
men, they want a family. They want a
Yeah.
wife. They want the children struck. They want
Yeah.
good living. So y'all have to start listening to what men are saying and raise the boys to grow up to be the men. That's it. That's my whole take on this. And that's what Helen Hurt men do. We just look at what I saw was lacking in men due to this problem of us having no man in the house and having a woman have all the influence in the house. We're too emotional to have 365 days of that much power to a boy, because
Yeah.
he's going to get confused in it.
Yeah. Good
And
point.
that's what we screwed up at. You cannot confuse a man, a boy, because he's going to raise up and think he's okay in that. That's why it's a gang of them sitting next to me and they switching harder than me.
Ah!
Makeup, face beater, fashion. I'm
Wow,
like, dang,
face
this
beat
is
some
crazy.
more.
But the truth is, it's because they saw what power we possessed in it. As women, we do hold a power, but we don't know it could be dangerous if we abuse it. And then we blame the men and say they the players, but we participate in the playership too, because again, there are women walking around thinking they can change a man. And then they get mad and butt hurt when they can't change a man, and now they over there crying in the corner, all men are dogs. So again, my sentiment on this, we all have to change us in it, nobody else, because we can't. That's impossible.
Thank
That's
you.
the truth.
Uh, Rashad, you want to go next or FA?
Now, I want Rashad to go. I know he had a question.
No, I was just saying that she was one of the young ladies that was a part of my example earlier. The single mother with the two kids, right?
All right.
And at the end of the day, because of the fact that God didn't forgive upon her, and because of the fact that there was a man out there that actually took her seriously and didn't
Right.
just look at her as used goods, now
Right.
look at what she's been able to morph into. See, that's the thing. At the end of the day,
That's the
there
power of God.
is the power, 100%. But
That ain't
remember,
the power of man.
no. But remember, God uses man, right? God didn't bring
Yeah.
his hand out the sky and pull her out of her situation. No,
Yeah, he
he used
did.
the husband. Yeah, he
Oh no,
did. He
no,
used
not
her husband.
literally. They use her husband.
And so my point is, yes, the power of God, not man, but God uses man, right?
Right, but not all men.
No, not all men, because some
And
men
a lot
are
of
not.
women, won't have her story.
Well, 100%. And you know why?
Ninety
Because
percent of them won't.
and
Actually,
a good portion of them won't, because the devil also uses men.
fair enough. And we're
And
trying to
so,
avoid that.
the point that I'm making is that all women don't have the God man in their path. There are many women that have the
Yeah.
devil man in their path. And so my
No.
point is that no, come on, how can you
No. No.
say
No. No.
that?
No. 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 What I'm saying that you got a lot of women that don't have the God man in their path. You got a lot of women that have the devil man in their path. I want you also to know this too. There's a lot of women that are following the devil as well. We got to
Dude,
stop acting like the women.
but
No, no,
here's
it's
my
not.
thing, man.
No, I'm saying
We
that
got to
there
stay
is
on
no.
topic. You always just flip it back over to the other side.
No,
I never
because
said that was
the
not
way
the
you
case.
phrase.
I never
No, but it
said that
sounds
they're
like
not.
you're phrasing it in a way in which
Let him get his final
women
thought
are
off.
these victims. But go ahead.
Let him get his
Dude,
final thought off.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'll say it once. I will say it again. Until we all understand that we all have a role to play in building Black people up,
Yeah.
I will not be able to come together on anything. This
Mhm.
competition between this is your fault. That
Yeah,
shit ain't getting nothing done.
nothing.
You'll
Right.
never be able to get anything done by pointing the finger at anybody. The only way to get through true reconciliation is for some of us to understand judgment is there to precede healing. And if you only judge without being able to identify how to heal, then the judgment does more destruction. And so that's why I was talking to you. Like, we gotta understand you can't communicate to everybody the exact same way.
Yeah.
So some people can't receive, and let's be honest, some people's hearts have been hardened, and so
Yeah.
they're not
Hmm.
able to receive harsh criticism. What do they call it?
Right.
Brutal honesty. Everybody can't
Yeah,
receive brutal honesty.
I
You
Yeah.
get that a
can't.
That's
lot.
why. That's
I'm
why they
only
life gonna
brutal in
get.
my honesty.
But
I'm like,
here's
either
But
you gonna want to receive what I'm saying or you not. But
that's
that's
why I
the
stand.
thing. What I think a lot of us are so sensitive that we don't want to hear the truth within ourselves because that means they feel like, oh my God, something wrong with me. I had to realize making poor decisions on my emotions alone is why I keep getting in this situation.
yeah.
I had to go to counseling to
Mhm.
see where I participate in the madness of my life. I had to do all of this before a man could even see me as a wife. Because before then, I would have just been a busted at pretty girl with effed up problems, and I would have been just so. I'm grateful that I did not fall into that insecurity or that immaturity. I had to wise up. Discernment was needed. Everything
Yeah.
was needed in the two, and I kept going to church. So all of this was needed to ensure I don't make a third decision bad, and there I'm on my third baby daddy. So I had to really
Hmm.
think about it.
100%.
This man put a ring on it. We walked down the aisle. Now we're a family. Now we're a union. Now this is all of us. And he never said those two before were
Born
somebody
is.
else. He included in them all.
Yep.
Because I hear women talk and they say men don't talk to them because they got two kids. And I'm like,
Yeah.
100%.
damn.
That 100%.
I've
100%.
never had that issue because when a man wanted
Hmm.
me, he said, I want everything that comes with you.
Yep.
Yeah. You
And he
rare.
takes
Yep.
care
That
of
don't happen.
everything that comes with me.
Mm.
And I do the same though. So if we reciprocate that love, that's where we bring back the government gone because they broke anyway
Yeah.
and put us back in to take care of because the mission is the family, raise them kids. But once we do the baby mama culture and she got men coming in and out of that house, we don't know who's influencing them babies.
Yeah.
So we can't keep blaming one party or not the other. We got to blame ourselves and what
Yeah.
we allow in this equation of our lives because the children are watching and they're actually being involved in a lot of stuff that they don't need to be in. So when they made that decision about the government, did they even consider the children at all when they made that decision. I don't think so. It was
Of
about
course
a
not.
man and money, but they never thought about what would it impact the kids.
Well, yeah, hindsight is 2020. I mean, yeah, we're saying this 40 years later, right?
Yeah,
But nobody knew what the detriment to that was going to be.
absolutely. They saw money as a key way because they probably was broke and needed it, and so they
100%.
took the easy
It
way
was
out.
survival. That's what that was, right?
Absolutely. And anybody, what would you do if your son was at home? So
Well,
that's what
I
we
was thinking
do.
about that song earlier today, and
We
I'm just
do.
like,
We do what we gotta do.
And that's why we talked about it because again, I don't want this to be a thing where we keep going back and forth and blaming each other. But the
We
real
ought to
problem
blame
is,
if we both participated in it with not thinking of the kid in mind. Seriously, because if I was a father, I would have fought for my child. Like, hey, he coming with me or she's coming with me. But back then, they didn't even have a place for themselves because if y'all saying there were no work for men, men had a lot of woes that they were facing, and women didn't see that. Whatever advantage
Right,
that I have that my man don't have, I'm gonna use that to benefit us both. I'm not gonna
right.
use it and say, "Oh, I make more money. I'm the head of the house." No, it's our household needs to be supplied. So we both are in this together. A lot of us let everybody in and don't know the circumstances and then wonder why government was able to knock on the door because how they know what's going on in your household.
yeah.
So
You got your final thoughts, Rashad? Were you done?
no, but I mean,
Go ahead.
time's going.
Go ahead.
No, it's fine. Go ahead, we're good. I don't even know what the topic was.
It was the narrative on the absentee black father who
No,
grew.
okay.
Because of the welfare. When a black man couldn't be in the house, and the woman received the welfare.
Yeah.
So I again, um, my persistence on baby mother culture, I know it can come off like vilify. I want to be clear. I am vilifying baby mother culture. I'm not vilifying the baby mother. You know what I'm saying? I do want to get
You're
rid
not?
of it.
Hurt
You're
No,
your
I
not?
feelings.
don't. I don't. No, because I believe because as much as I've received forgiveness, she deserves it as well. So I'm not saying that she shouldn't
Okay.
get a second chance. What I'm saying is I don't get to make the decisions for your second chance, baby. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm not gonna be with you. You know what I mean? Somebody else. If other people don't see you as valuable, baby, it's your long list of other people too. Porn stars, don't film. There's a lot of people along this list that men don't see as valuable. And you can God can forgive you, but that don't mean all man is. You see what I'm saying? So I'm telling you, I'm just trying to highlight the world that we live in and the decisions that you make, what you may encounter, the likelihood of you may encountering. Like I'm not teaching first of all, I married a baby mother. I tell you that all the time. It's one of the biggest things, the struggles I've ever done. You see what I'm saying? It was hard, it's still hard for me to this day. You see what I'm saying? At times. I tell her son, and I'm gonna tell my children, don't you ever marry no woman with no kids. Don't you ever do it. You deserve to start you deserve to start your
Bruh,
own
you
family.
got to give
Period.
context behind that, man.
What?
I had
I'm
kids out of
That's a
I
dangerous
agree with
statement,
that
bruh.
statement. Not even that.
right.
It's
You don't know
because
the
he's saying
complications that come with it. So you don't
it
know.
do. That's what
Yeah.
he's saying.
It's
People
so
don't
much that come
understand
with
and
it.
see nobody hears that part.
Yeah.
It's multiple people
Trying
involved
to
when you have multiple baby daddies and you're trying to
yeah.
be because
100%.
if you're
You
married.
trying to raise children.
Yeah,
And
so it's not
everybody
that
think they
he's
got
trying to
authority.
be, it's the
Mm.
reality of the world we live in. So he's saying from observation, this is the truth of it.
Don't do it.
Unfortunately, that's why he's trying to get rid of the baby mama culture because it's true. There are so many things because you could have five baby daddies. One is good, four deadbeats, and that one woman will try to make him
Aw.
take care of all. Oh, hi,
Hi.
take care of
Yeah.
all of the responsibilities. So it's hard. It's a lot. That's the kids shouldn't have to deal with that.
We
Seriously.
on the same. We on. Go ahead. We on the same page. But yeah, that's my favorite. My final thoughts. We always hark back to baby mother culture. I want to get rid of it. I see the effects of it. It's not. I didn't make it. I didn't create it. I'm not in support of it. I'm just trying to. I just believe the biggest contributing factor to us being able to build back get in the position that we want to be in as a people is we got to teach our women the value that they really have. You guys are born with so much value. All you do is lose it over the years. You know what I mean? From the bad decisions you make. You're born with value. Men, you ain't born with nothing. You go out there and you work and you prove your value. That's what I believe. You go out there, I didn't say you're worth nothing. But what I'm saying is you go out there and you're going to be judged by what you put into the world. You go out there, you work hard, you sacrifice, you be selfless, you prepare yourself, you get stronger, you get knowledgeable, you get all these things, you develop these traits. Women, you develop some of those traits too, but you keep your purity. Don't give your womb to everybody. Don't give yourself to everybody because having unwedded sex has a mental breakdown on men and women. But in my case, I believe it's more visible with women. You can see how damaged the women are. There's a reason why you will hear a lot of men say they don't want to sleep with virgins because when a man sleeps with a virgin, she becomes extremely clingy to the guy. And
Mm.
often cases because for her, there's a different type of connection that happens when she gives herself to a guy. So I'm trying to teach women, make niggas wait. How about that? Keep your value. I ain't talking about these whores, but I'm talking about like women. I'm just talking about the newer generation. I'm teaching the younger new generation. You got worth. You got value. Don't get these niggas just no free pass. Don't get these niggas just your body for free. Men, we got to stop being players, but in the same breath, treat these women with the value that they deserve if they show that that's their value. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I'm trying to, I think that will get us
We
back
also
to a good place.
boys too, like you said, not to be players. The importance of
Yeah,
being with one. So I think I feel like it goes both ways. This show we don't just advocate for, we advocate for both sides. We hold
yeah,
Exactly. And
person
that's the point
accountable
proven.
because it's not, oh, it's a man thing or it's a woman thing. It's a us thing because
yeah,
we're
I
all
agree.
together. So, and the change starts with us, like Healing Hurt Men's Ministry said. Mama said you was a baby daddy, so you don't get grace either. All right, y'all, this was a good one. I this one posted. I'm working on getting the other one posted. I've been trying to get that video posted all weekend with the spin that thing because that's been a hot topic. But everything will get posted later on this evening. I appreciate you, Healing Hurt Men's Ministry. FA will do this again tomorrow.
I
Yeah.
love y'all.
Oh, think about, hey, Didi, think about this topic. I just seen in Minnesota and Minneapolis, them Democrats just passed something called a bathhouse. I never even knew what it was. Do you know what bathhouses are?
Oh,
Just know this: bathhouses was a place where the uh the LGBTQ community used to be able to have sex in these public baths. Like it would be like a big, I guess, a shower house where people go and take showers. Remember, like back in the day with Greek mythology, where they
yeah.
would sit each other, hit each other with like leaves and stuff. They used to have bathhouses, and it was legal for them to have intercourse with each other in these bathhouses, and they got rid of it because after the AIDS epidemic, when AIDS started blooming, they were saying that a lot of AIDS and STDs was being spread in these bathhouses, so they eliminated it. Do you know they just brought it back? Do you know they was down there in Congress, down there in the Minneapolis, fighting to be able to have bathhouses so they can have public sex again? And you
Send me
know,
that.
and they
Story.
passed it. Oh, I'm gonna send it to you. Oh, I'm gonna
Yeah.
send it to you.
Mama said treat people with respect regardless of who they are. All right, y'all. It was real.
Wow.
Talk to you tomorrow.